If you've flown Air India once and that was your second time flying Air India,
yeah.
I have no sympathy for you. I have no, like, you chose that because
why
I know
is it so bad?
the planes are janky as, like, you'll see first class seats with just like rips in them with duct tape over them.
So you
horrendous.
think it was the plane, it wasn't pilot error.
How could it be pilot error? Like, you think
they were
tried
saying
to
something with
fly
the flaps? The guy hit the wrong button. Obviously, I don't know aviation. Yeah.
Is it possible Pakistan was involved?
That's what I thought immediately.
That kid said he wanted to become pilot.
Pilot. Yeah, he's a pilot. Great.
I mean, like that was like his dream job.
My only question is, how did that one guy survive?
I don't know.
How?
He said he jumped out.
And they for sure verified it was him.
They verified his passport, allegedly, verified his plane ticket, his name.
What are the chances they just grab somebody and they're like, this would be a cool
true.
story?
You know, we can tell the difference.
And also, like, I could buy an Indian passport at a vape shop. So it's like, it didn't have to be. Prezzy D and Yannis Pappas on the pod.
Have you seen how this has turned into a 9/11 conspiracy?
Oh, God.
Right away, dude.
People online are like, because now you can see the building and it just looks like a plane with the tail sticking out of just like a two-story
Oh,
building.
that's right. It doesn't penetrate.
It's just
That's what they're
sitting there.
saying.
So they're like, how the fuck did these two
everyone's
buildings
The
like-
go
plane
down?
looked like a white guy trying to dunk. And just like, I can't get to the rim. Yeah.
Oh wow. So they're saying there's no way that the
So
Twin
now
Towers
everyone's
could have
like,
gone
how
down.
is it possible that this happened with these massive buildings reinforced with steel beams?
Well,
yada,
luckily we
yada,
have two engineering experts on the podcast.
Engineering,
100%.
history, we're definitely Middle East experts.
So how did the plane get stuck? Can we figure that out?
The plane got stuck
Yeah.
because all of the South Asian geniuses who were Indian are in America.
Brain
We
drain.
took all their engineers.
brain drain.
Yeah,
So they
brain
couldn't
drain.
even fly a plane through a
Yeah,
building.
if you're a good Indian, you hear.
No.
This is the NBA.
Yeah.
For the Indian people.
This is-
United States.
Yeah.
Or
If
If you're,
Canada.
like, if you're a good black person, you're in
Yes. Yes.
India's
Is that what
G
you're
League.
saying?
Yes. The best of the best get here.
Yeah, yeah.
that-
The Vince right here. We got one of the better ones in right here.
I
Yeah,
do,
that
dude.
is true. Yeah,
I do.
So I just think it was one of those situations where that becomes evident when they try to fly a plane, and you're just like,
I
should
also,
have hired Akash for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
so-
also imagine Air India might be the type of airline where they just pack so many people in, like people are standing, like on the subway. You know what I mean? Like they have handrails, and maybe that's how the guy got out. He was standing.
Maybe. I won't defend Air India ever. Again, I've flown it twice, and I learned my lesson. But Vistata was a really good Indian airline, and then Air India bought them, and I was like, nah, I'm out.
Well,
I'm
because
not
this
buying that.
plane is like a legitimate, like it's a Dreamliner, right? That's like a new age plane.
Man, it took off from Gujarat, right? You don't know what kind of corners these motherfuckers be cutting over
Seriously,
there.
right?
These Gujaratis.
I mean,
who
look
knows?
at that. It didn't even go through the building.
Yeah, we should look at the plane and how it started.
I want to look at this building. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, good. I mean, I guess the Twin Towers, the building is mostly glass.
with why the Twin Towers?
Yeah, why did it just go right through the Twin Towers?
Oh, right.
yeah.
That
steel beams outside.
well, yeah, it went through the steel beams.
Yeah, went through the steel beams.
Maybe because I don't know. Because here's the thing, I don't know. Remember, you're an engineering. Is I don't. Know, but I'm gonna say
Watching
I
Chris rub
don't
his chin
know.
and
I
try
don't
not to
know.
blame Israel is so
I
funny.
don't know if the reason
almost like
why
he was
I could've-
rubbing his nose to
It's the
figure it
reason
out.
why I went through because I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure
yeah, of
if
course.
the steel beams needed to be removed on September 10th for the Israelis to put the bombs in. I don't know because I don't know if Israel was able to wire that building with bombs before that's just a question, obviously, Jan.
So what's happening in Iran now, then, guys? Let's just get down to it.
And who are you
here's the
guys
thing.
rooting for?
Yeah.
Iran is an
Who am I
interesting
rooting
place.
for?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's
That's
the
a
good
good
guys
question.
and who's the bad guys?
I'd like to see. Here's the thing. I'd like to see somewhat of a fight with Iran. Like, I kind of look at Iran as the Pacers.
Okay.
They're the underdogs. You're supposed to not like them. They
This
beat
is
your
a
team.
horrible idea.
But I do think that Iran has got some fight in them.
Yeah.
This is the most Andrew has ever cared about an issue, and I love watching him be uncomfortable.
It's just because I'm invested and I have no clue what the truth is at all. Everybody that I talk to says that they know exactly what's going on, and they're completely different takes no matter who I talk to.
Because the thing
and it's just like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, that's what timelines are now. You go on one timeline, you get one thing. You go on another timeline, you get another.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
You got your timeline's either going to go,
It's an echo chamber.
Yeah, it's an echo chamber. Everything's an echo chamber.
God! I
Yeah.
thought we were talking about like Marvel timelines. Like there's some sort of like,
Yeah, I was like,
multiverse.
multiverse?
And, like it's a multiverse. No, you mean like your timeline, your algorithm? Yeah. Got it. Yeah. My algorithm is disagreeing with each other right now.
Yeah. It's totally, you go on one, you're like, okay, that's the truth. And then you go on another and you're like, that's the truth.
Yeah.
It's hard to know.
Yeah.
And I think it's funner that way.
Do you?
I think it's funner
So
to
you can
remove nuance and
compartmentalize-
get straight to the extremes and let them fucking have
fight it out.
Yes.
Yeah. But does it not give you anxiety, or you can compartmentalize it and just be like, hey, I'm on the outside.
I'm not as rich as you. If we die, we die.
Yeah.
That's one of the downfalls of getting rich.
You're a property owner. You're a property
I am
owner.
a property owner.
Watch it on
Full-fledged
YouTube.
New York Republican.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's the better you do, the more you get scared of World War III. But that's why I
Yes.
like to stay in the middle because
ChatGPT.
as I go,
We asked ChatGPT before. They did say there's no World War III is not happening. ChatGPT said that it's not going to happen yet.
Yes.
Because that too much mutually assured destruction can't happen. The only way they said it could happen, is if they said Trump decides to, or I'm sorry, Netanyahu decides to kill the president of Iran. I can't say those names. Khomeini, the lead guy in Iran. He said if he drops him, then we're going to get close. And then I shut down ChatGPT and I went in the New York Post, and they said that Netanyahu said, I'm going to kill him. So Netanyahu said he's going to kill the lead guy in Iran because he said he thinks it's the only way to stop the war. I said, buckle up. We're going into World War III.
Bro.
And I agree with Yanni. It depends on what timeline you're on. It depends on what group chat you're on. If you're in the group chat that believes, Donald Trump is king, and you go protest.
What's up with Donny flip-flops, man?
Listen,
What's
that's the
up with
thing.
Donny flip-flops?
Donny flip-flops.
Yeah, what's up?
I think if we do go into war with Iran, then I think he knows he can't do that.
Why does he know he can't do it?
Because his supporters.
What are your boys saying right now?
Well, that's
what are your boys saying
They're
right
going,
now?
Jews,
laser
Jews everywhere.
What my boys are saying. What my boys are
running down fucking Jews.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. My boys are saying
They may not be wrong.
What is the firehouse saying? What is the firehouse saying?
Ladder 14,
Chrissy?
the firehouse is
We know
saying.
what Westchester's saying.
The firehouse.
Down with Iran.
Yeah,
That's
we are, also, I don't know if you know, we're a couple of firefighters from Ladder 14. We get all our information from a guy named Schmitty.
Yeah.
Schmidt, we got a lot of time at the firehouse, waiting for a fire.
All I'm going to ask you this right now.
Ask me it,
Tell
yeah.
me, how could they? You really believe that number 6 million?
6 million. I mean, the thing, Schmitty took out the calculator. He said, and he knows something about fire.
Yeah,
we're talking about ovens.
One thing I know is about fire. That's a lot of ass. I don't know about that.
Dude, you could never do 6 million. That's like fucking 3 million a day. There's no way it's 6 million. You ever fucking cook the pizza? You get one pie in there at a time. You cannot get fucking 16 million Jews at a time per day. Okay, so maybe 10,000, maybe 5. Who knows?
Every book Schmitty opens, he told us there's another number. What's the real number?
We know is fire. Fire. We know fire.
So that's what they're
Also,
saying.
This
the
is
Jews,
his-
their skin is not
Let him
oily.
go.
If it was
Let him
Greeks, if it was fucking Greeks, they're combustible.
They would repel it.
They're combustible.
No,
They
6 million Greeks. Then I could understand
because
you
they got
burn a fucking hole
oil.
in the
They're
ozone.
combustible. So you can get 6 million, but fucking dry psoriasis fucking Jews, you can't burn those things quickly. You ever tried? They gotta cook them at 600 fucking. Ask your fucking boy Dove. You can't burn that guy.
Yeah.
You can't.
This is taking over.
That's the fire. That's not us.
That's it. That's Ladder 14. Those are
It's nothing to
Schmitty.
do
Those
with
are a
us.
couple of the other
It's a
guys.
character piece. It has nothing to
That
do
has
with us.
nothing to do with us.
This is taking over
not us.
every single aspect of the internet. There's this guy that I follow, and I've talked about him before on the show. He basically goes up to people, does kind of like man on the street content, but in gyms, and asks people.
Sorry, I can't take you. I
No,
haven't,
Isn't
dead
it weird
I haven't
watching
seen-
him be the straight guy?
no, I just haven't
Look what
seen.
you've done to him.
I haven't seen conquistador face Andrew Schultz yet.
Yeah, this is
Last time I was here, it was dictator without the fucking with that haircut. Now
know,
it's
I had to
by the way,
take it
now it's
easy.
hello. My name is Ania Montoya. You killed my father.
Spain.
Yeah.
From Spain, the original people who brought Africans, created slavery, Spain. I think we should just, if you want to know about history, I know whites are bad, but we're the worst, but just recently. Spanish people from Spain, they're the ones that brought African
white,
slaves.
dude.
But they're white.
They're white.
Spanish people are very interesting. Spanish people are very interesting from Spain. Because when they want to be on the right side of history, they're like, no, we are Spanish. Oh, no. And then when I say, yeah, but, aren't you guys are fucking, you brought slavery here.
Yeah.
You're white. They'll say, no, we're not white. They're white when it's good for them, Spanish when it's good for them.
Don't ruin what he's saying with a fact.
Which is
okay?
very white, though. That's a very white thing.
That is
Spanish
a very
people.
white thing to do.
What?
pretend you're not white.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they're just being white about it.
They're being white about it, right?
The whitest.
Right.
Yeah.
White.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are white. Spanish are white.
Right.
Anyway, there's this guy who does this natty or not thing. He'll go up to people.
Yes.
And he goes, natty or not, if you're on steroids. He just goes up to people working out, right? I've been watching this guy's content for like a year or two or something like that. It's just funny to
Is it about
expose these
tits?
workout things.
Don't let him. Don't let him.
The last video he posts, he just goes up to people and he goes, if you were kicked out of 109 bars, would you say that it was the bar's fault or was it your fault? And then he goes, do you think it'd be possible to make 6 million pizzas in 3 years? And then he goes, what do you mean? He goes, like, that's like 3 million pizzas, 3,000 pizzas a day. Do you think that's possible? I'm like, when did the Holocaust denial hit the workout algorithm?
So what social media?
His whole content is now the Jews are lying.
Right.
And he was originally
They're
you're
not
lying
natty,
about
dude.
steroids.
That's not in natty 6 million.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the whole
not.
issue.
I guess he is natty or not.
Yeah,
That is
yeah, yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Do you think this is
Performance
organic?
enhancing ovens.
Do you think this is organic?
You mean the No Kings protest?
No. Well, yeah. I mean, like, just everyone interested in, like, you know, when I was a kid, dude.
I'm
didn't-
out. I have no.
Yeah, I didn't
don't
even
know.
know
what-
who the mayor was.
Being Indian's a good place to be right now.
If you didn't come to me and
skin
ask
in the
me to
game.
smell your fingers when I was 12, I wasn't interested.
So where do you think it comes from?
I just think there seems to be sort of, you know, the digital places where all this is playing out.
Yes.
And we all the kids are on there. You
Yeah.
can't fight war anymore the way you used to fight war because of mutually assured destruction.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of foreign influence online trying to win the hearts
So
and minds.
who's influencing? Who's paying the money?
I don't. You
Who
got big
benefits the
players.
most?
You got big players.
China, Russia.
Big players.
Probably all of them.
Yeah.
Probably
Israel?
everybody, dude.
Yeah.
Lasers.
Well, it's not Israel. Israel's losing. Israel's losing the. They're losing the fucking what's it called? War.
PR
right?
war,
They're
yeah.
losing the PR war. So they're
Israel
not
is.
spending enough money.
Yeah.
If they are spending, China, you could
That
say
sounds about right.
they're just not spending enough. So,
Trying to cut a deal. You know what I mean?
but what is it? Is it Qatar? Is it Russia?
Well, Qatar, this is a fact. This isn't a History Hyena facts. This is a fact. Qatar spends the most money on education.
What does Smitty have to say about that?
Schmitty would say? that
Schmitty
these
would remind
fucking-
you that slavery's still alive and it's in Qatar and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
that's what Schmitty would say. He would tell you that it's still fucking alive and that it's Middle Eastern people who are the worst and not the whites.
And
Schmitty
it's
would
us.
deflect from
And
the
it's
whites.
us getting
And it's
enslaved.
Indian people and it's not, don't blame fucking
The
always
one
the
good
whites
thing
for
to
all the
do, they
problems.
picked the right people.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did pick the right people.
Right, yeah. That's what Schmitty would say. It's
He would say, you know what's fucking going on.
he would say it.
Osama fucking, you know what's going on. You know what the fuck's
What's going on?
You know what the fuck's going on.
What's going on?
The fucking Sandra Dees.
Right.
Sandra Dees.
What he would say.
Sandra Dees. You know, they got a different religion.
Yeah, it's all it is.
And, you know, they want to conquer. They want to fucking conquer.
What it is, that's what, you know.
I heard they were building a mosque in Smitty's neighborhood. Did you hear about this?
They
There was
were before we burnt it down. Oh, wait, there's a fire? We'll come put out the fire. Who knows how to start a fire better than fucking Schmitty?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's fucking crazy.
That is
But he
true.
takes care of his fucking neighborhood.
He does too.
It's just halal's a flammable food. And we have to come and put out the
Yeah,
fire.
whoa, you gotta cool. You gotta cool this fire. We put out the fire.
Yeah.
No more mosques.
That's what would happen.
That's what happened.
But I don't think anybody really knows it because I think that there's so many angles.
Thank you, Chrissy.
I think there's so many
You
angles.
guys are a treasure, dude.
Perception is reality. It's however you perceive the facts to be. That's how they'll be.
The History
baby.
Hyenas are back, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
know.
The History Hyenas
I
are
know.
back.
I love
It's
it.
good to be
I'm
back
so
with you
sorry I
boys.
broke y'all up.
Wait, how did that happen to you? I was thinking about this on the way here. I was like, what was your role?
I
in it?
gave them COVID.
Yes.
Yes.
Giannis had a mental breakdown.
breakdown. You did.
Accused me of spreading it
Dude.
knowingly.
Have we talked about this since?
Or a period of enlightenment.
That's it. But you used to call me with a weak voice. Do you remember that?
Yes, because I
You
was
were like,
scared I was going to die, and I just didn't want Akash to be the one that killed me.
Don't see.
That
I
would be
wanted a more
embarrassing.
glamorous death.
Imagine the Indian gave you the disease.
Oh my God!
What a fucking
what a
reparation.
fucking ironic.
Yeah,
that would be.
ironic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So then that seemed to be the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Right. But then, well, but in reality, though, you know, we
took the
say this-
vaccine, and that's
we
what
took the
happened.
vaccine, and then
We
we
took the
just
vaccine.
the bottom line is we do not do the History Hyenas podcast unless Trump is in charge. And Trump is off for 4 years, so are we.
That's when we came back.
That's when we came back.
Came back. Read into that however you like.
Right into that. So the thing is, if you want to see more History Hyenas over the next few years, then you have to change the presidential election laws. You got to give our king a third term.
I'm
just kidding.
Before the podcast, Chrissy with a straight face, because we're discussing what's happening in Israel and if America is going to get involved. And he's like, listen, I don't think they can do it because if they do it, his base is going to revolt. He's not going to be able to win another term. And I go, well, yeah, he can't do that. He goes, yeah, I know his base won't support it. And I go, no, that's not legally allowed. And he goes, we'll work on that.
Yeah, because Dan Bongino, one of the heads of the FBI, is from our neighborhood.
Yo, but what's up with Dan bending over?
What's up with that on multiple times?
Yeah,
He's a neighborhood guy.
But hey, his fucking mother lives above my nanny. She's a great tenant.
Is she getting shit now that he's bent over?
No. I think that I don't know. If I'm going to be honest with you.
Can you be honest with me?
We don't know because when we had this conversation with Dan Bongino at O'Neill's in Maspeth, we thought he was going to go our way. Yeah. And then the guy's out there saying that the Epstein's killed himself. And we're like, that's not what you said in Maspeth.
I heard they got him wearing a little hat.
Right.
Oh.
I heard they got him wearing a little hat behind closed doors. I heard he got to put on a little. That's what I heard. I heard he got to wear it.
We call Jews frisbees.
No.
Because of the hats, yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Is that why? We weren't sure.
Yeah. Thank you for explaining.
Yeah, so if you want to, you don't need a frisbee at the park. You just, they're frisbees. Yeah, they're frisbees.
No, honestly, I don't know what the hell's going on. I have no idea. Dan Bongino, nobody really knows what's going on. All I know is I went.
I'm
Dan
so
and
happy.
Cash immediately. Why would Cash even go on Rogan and cap like that?
I don't know. I didn't even know.
Because I think Trump is on the Epstein list.
But we all know that.
Yeah.
This is not like we saw the picture with them hanging out.
They're friends. They're all friends.
Yeah, but so what? Like,
So
do you
they
think the
can't
base would care?
So they can't. Yeah, you're right. Well, the hardcore
He
base
just
would
can't
make
be on the
excuses.
island fucking 14-year-olds.
It
If he
makes it
knows the
seem-
guy.
But the island isn't where the fucking supposedly happened. Of course, we know it happened, but the evidence is from the apartment, from the townhouse. That's where they found the cameras. That's where they found the tapes.
Why haven't we seen any of the parties, the videos? And why is your boy running cover?
Danny B?
Yeah, this
I
is
don't
the
know.
neighborhood guy running cover.
Well, that's what I said when he got into the FBI. We were like, wow, look at this guy. One of us really made. I mean, this guy used to take the Q55 with him. He's the Goodwill Hunting of Maspeth. And now the kid really made it. He's the Goodwill Hunting of Maspeth.
Yeah,
the kid really made it out of the neighborhood.
If I see you over this deli tomorrow, I'm gonna fucking make something.
The Ridgewood, Glendale, Maspeth area. I mean, that Danny B is the biggest of all. I went to Archbishop Malloy High School. It used to at first, used to just be me, the good alumni from
Jesus Christ.
used to just be hold on. The good alumni used to just be
Take a deep fucking breath.
Ray Romano.
He's got 300 cholesterol.
But I'm on the beam.
He's on the beam right now. He's got 300 cholesterol. He doesn't eat what he ate. He just dropped 20 pounds.
But his hair looks incredible.
This is what it is, baby. I'm
Fucking great.
scopes. Back like the 40s, just in case we go into WW3. I got it slick back on the sides.
It looks good.
Like a cadet.
All right, guys, not that many show dates. June 19th, that's this week, through 21st, Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm at Wise Guys Comedy Club. These tickets are almost sold out. Also, I need to say this. Dubai, I'm going to be there for the Dubai Comedy Festival, October 5th. The tickets are already over half sold out. So hurry up and buy those tickets. And last but not least, I'm very excited. I went to India like a month or so ago. I interviewed some people I'm very excited about. I also interviewed one or two people in the States, and I'm going to start dropping those. My first episode with Rami Youssef will be dropping either this week or next week, but look for it on my YouTube page. I'm very excited about this. I love y'all. Thank y'all. Let's get back to the show.
What's up, guys? Special announcement. I want to shake your hand. I have a very secret and special and important message for you listening. Yes, you right now driving your car, working. And the best way for me to tell you that is if you come to my shows, I'm going to Portland, Oregon, Fort Worth, Austin, Texas, Stanford. I'm also doing the Hard Rock in Times Square in New York City. I'll be doing a show produced by my good friend Alex Media on July 19th. Also at the end of the month.
Suck his dick! Suck his dick! Suck his dick!
Oh, dude, please don't. Dude, Father Ben, my priest, hit me up and he was like, yo, why does Akash keep saying that? And I said, I don't know.
Because Father Ben needs to get his dick sucked.
Chandler, Arizona, Washington, D.C., San Diego, Burlington, Vermont. And then also, at the end of the month, we're doing a show at Maryland, New York City. It's my show with Joey Avery. I'll see you guys there. I can't wait to tell you my secret message. See me after the show.
I was
Peace.
peeing.
What's up, guys? Finally, I'm here. I'm throwing a show, comedy show. It's gonna be fun. No 2-drink minimum. Fuck all that shit. Just buy your ticket
And
have
he's
some
paying the
laughs.
comics more.
And I'm paying comics more because comics be
What a
broke
guy.
now. You know, I do good stuff.
Do not suck his dick.
Why not?
Because that's why. Because that's why. Do not suck his dick. He's an engaged man.
We're talking to the dudes, though.
When he's married, you can suck his dick because then that's all that stops.
Yeah, but if it's dudes, it's not cheating.
That's true. If you're a man, you can suck his dick. It's huge.
Oh, fuck. This is going to be an episode. Okay, we're throwing a show on the June 28th at Barloom and then also July 19th at the Hard Rock.
July 10th. Also known as July 10th. Cancel comedy, right? Cancel comedy?
Yes.
Cancel comedy, July 10th. We're making it a day from now
Just
on.
go to Cancel Comedy X on Instagram. Check the bio. We'll have a link for all the tickets. And let's get back to the show.
We can only call this the podcast administration. That's
Yes.
what it is.
Yes.
They're all
Yes.
podcast guests.
Yes.
That's what they are.
Yes.
Tulsi, they've all done the podcast circuit.
Obama was Facebook. Was it Trump was Twitter?
Cambridge Analytica.
Right, but that was Obama was Facebook. I think Trump was Twitter.
Oh.
Biden was, I don't even know what it is. And then the latest Trump was probably TikTok.
Yeah.
And then
And podcasts.
And podcasts, yes, TikTok podcast. And then the next one will be AI.
Yes. the next
And that's going to be the interesting one.
Do you think the AI will be culturally sensitive where they are? Like, do you think in the Muslim countries AIs will be wrapped up?
Of course.
The Jewish AIs
Have
will
to be. Absolutely.
Yeah. You have to respect the culture. You can't.
100%.
And will they be white or black? You know,
Yeah, well,
like,
what do you think they'll be?
I think they will be culturally sensitive. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
think
in
they
America,
will.
what would they look like?
America, they just be fat. Right. They'd be fat, fucking fat robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canadian, they'll be trans.
Canadian, they'll
Right?
Yeah. Canadian will be trans.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everyone's scared of AI, but once we can fuck them, the fear goes away.
can already.
Everyone was
Yeah.
scared of the internet once you found out you can just jerk to infinite porn.
Yeah.
Once we can put a dick in a robot, all
They
the
have the
anxiety's gone.
sperm. They
Yeah.
have the thing in China already. They have the
The sperm
Chinese
extractor.
sperm extractors.
Yeah. Look it up.
They already have a
Really?
thing.
Yeah.
Chinese sperm extractors. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're
Right.
just going to put faces on it. And
Isn't
then
that
that's
like
it.
a nail salon or something?
Yes.
What is it? Massage
You get that there, yeah.
What we call a massage by an Asian woman is a loophole. If you don't want to cheat on your wife, little loophole. You get a massage from an Asian
You know
friend
his
of ours.
wife is cool with it and he won't do it?
You got to do it.
She's starting to flip flop already. She's starting to be like, I don't know.
No, because dude, that's
I don't get the fucking dick.
Listen to me right now.
Yeah.
The Chinese are taking over. We're getting the silver medal.
Okay.
What's happening? But if you want a little fucking American dignity, where you go is you go get a pedicure to get those Chinese at your feet. You go get jerked off to get those Chinese at your feet. Just to feel one more time.
I'm
that
gonna
we're
pitch
on
this to
top.
her. I'm gonna pitch
that
this
we're
to her.
on top.
That we're on top. Yeah, yeah.
I went and got a pedicure and I was like, that's
Yeah,
from
like
fucking
it down
America.
there.
Yeah, get down there.
We're losing
Get down
it. We
there.
just have to
See
accept
at my
defeat, like General George Washington. Just
Yeah.
knew how to accept defeat, and that's United
Silver
States. we just
medal's not
accept it.
bad.
Did you check to see if they were even Chinese or it was close enough?
Dude, I mean,
You know what it is.
I'm not a phenotype expert. I don't know.
Nobody can tell the difference.
Yeah, I just say, look, Pakistan and India is going to war. It's sad to see two people who smell so similar fight each other. I don't go in a cab and go, oh, that's Pakistani. Oh, that's, I mean, it's just fucking, they're all the same. They just got different.
Turks, Greeks, the same thing.
Same shit. I mean,
Yeah.
I am Turkish.
Anybody can-
Really?
I have a lot
You
of
found out.
It's rape gene.
No way.
So I
How do you
got
know
these.
it's rape?
It's not.
Maybe you got
there's-
some sellouts
Have
in
you
your
ever
family.
met Greeks and Turks?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't get along.
No?
No.
But there could have been one that was turned on by the power of that Turkish
You mean
man.
like a Romeo and Juliet kind
Yeah.
of? Ooh, possible.
Yeah.
I want to think so. But unfortunately, I know one of my ancestors was held down and fucked against their will. And it's just what happened.
Is that what they said to avoid the shame of falling in love with the
Wait,
Turkish?
wait,
woman?
are you talking about? Are you talking about a woman or just a Greek boy who got fucked by her?
Many of your ancestors were held down and fucked against their will when they worked for a
Dad.
mathematician.
There's no other way to explain, you know?
Yeah.
There's no other way to explain.
Were you an island Greek?
I was an island Greek.
Which island?
Well, half island Greek. Yeah, both island Greek.
Which islands?
My dad is from, I still call it Imbros. Now it's some name with some squiggly shit on top of it.
Oh, it's a
The
Turkish
Turks took it.
island.
Yeah, the Turks
Wow.
took it. And Crete. My
Oh,
mother's from
whoa.
Crete, the big one, yeah. Where it started
And
there.
Cretes are fighters, right?
They're fighters.
Right, a
Yeah.
little inbred as well.
Yeah.
Most Greeks are.
Yeah, I mean, look at my eyes. I mean, that doesn't happen from good breeding.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, what is the competitive advantage of having that? You think?
Of being inbred?
Yeah.
There
Stronger.
are none.
They're stronger.
There are none. Stronger. I say 0.
Yeah.
My immune system's worse. My eyes are too close
Yeah.
together. I get a 10
His eyes are too close together. I call his eyes Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, this is the border right here. This is this is the UN zone right
that's
here.
what it is.
Cyprus.
Yeah,
it's a tight border.
It's just what it is. He's got a small head. I have a big head. We just even each other out.
We just do even each other
So
out.
tell me why the Cretans, are they called?
Cretans.
The Cretans, why are the Cretans different than regular Greeks?
Because they're like the Sicilians
Of Greece.
If you go like Sicily to Italy, the Cretans are like to Greece what the Sicilians are to Italians.
Are they like, are they thought of as part of Greece?
The Greeks make fun of them because they're crazy and violent.
Which is what,
Yeah. So, but they fight. I mean, look at the, World War II. Most historians credit the Cretans and that resistance of Hitler as it took, to put it into context, it took the Nazis like 4 days to take France. You fucking pussies.
Yeah.
Clean your mirrors too. Every time you go in a fucking French restaurant, you're like, why the mirror's dirty?
Yeah,
anyway.
but you know.
I mean, you ever notice that? It's like that's your style. It's a dirty mirror. Anyway, that's another thing. But
I'll tell you why it took them 4 days to France in a second.
yeah, it took them a couple days.
Yeah.
It took the Nazis 10 days to take the island of
But we
Crete.
did eventually take it.
Yeah.
That is true. It's funny that we're friends and we have a podcast together because he really is the predator and I'm the prey.
Yeah, I did my ancestry and it said like 98% German. And I was like, holy shit. Wow.
That's not enough.
Yeah, one drop rule.
Dude, I couldn't believe how German I was, but what can you do, But it is
Took
true.
you twice as long.
It took him 10 days to take the island, so that Hitler had to refocus down there, right? And so that
Why was the island a strategic advantage?
because of Africa, access to Africa. It was the closest
launching
island to
pad.
Africa. That's
Launching pad, yeah.
So it was very important. And so that made them focus there, and then they had to put off the invasion of Russia towards the winter, and then we all got
hooked.
They got
So you guys were the deciding factor in World
Yeah,
War
you're
II.
like a turning point.
Yeah, Winston, Hitler gave us props. There's a quote.
No, not Hitler, Churchill.
Both did. Hitler also gave us props. Just for those people who love Hitler out there, and there's a lot of them now. Right. Hitler also gave the Greeks props. But Churchill said, from here on, we will
They
say...
started translating those speeches and it fucking worked.
I know. Once they started, well, I'll tell you what. You know what's
Oh, God,
interesting?
don't.
You get your point. No,
Don't tell us
No,
what.
it's one
Tell
thing.
us what.
Listen, I
Keep
was
your
just-
hand like that, though.
I'm just autistic.
No, I'm just
fucking awkward.
Guy, I'm just doing shoulders.
Yeah.
And so, but I was watching, listen, for research, I was watching a Hitler speech from the 40s, translated in English. I was just watching it, whatever. Watch it's a little thing I weekly, whatever. I was watching one and had the kids around. We don't do Miss Rachel anymore. Now we do that. No, I'm kidding. But I was watching this
I forgot to bring my knee pads to this podcast.
And it's in English. And so, my girl, who's, Latina, feminist, whatever, despises Hitler and the right and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
That doesn't make her a feminist.
but she's got a pussy. And so she's in the kitchen, making, whatever, her food. And so she's just listening, making breakfast, and Hitler's going off. I mean, because when you listen to him in English, no, it's awful what he did, right?
Yeah.
But if you just listen to the words, forget about what he did. Listen to the words. He's basically saying, and he says it like, in German, but translated in English, he goes, we are about to fight the two great superpowers. Germany is about to fight England. Okay, and he says, and what this video did was they changed Germany every time Hitler said Germany, they changed it to the United States. But that's just it was a weird AI thing I was watching. But he says Germany is about to fight England. These are two superpowers, and the only way to move forward is one must die and one must live. And I swear to my people, Germany will live. And people are like going crazy. It's like whatever. And so you go wild, and then she goes, yo, who is that? Like a new candidate? Who is that? That guy sounds awesome. I'll vote for that. I said, oh yeah, it is a new candidate. His name's Adolf Hitler. And she was like, why you tricked me? I was like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Because that's the thing with Hitler's. He's awful.
You knew you loved him this whole time.
No, I don't love him.
The kid is a closer.
No.
The kid is a headliner.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not a middle act, dog. When you watch that guy perform, you're like, fuck.
Yes.
He can
He's
talk.
adding shows.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that Hitler, all the stuff he did was he is. Dude. He's hitting his bonus.
Pre-sale code aisle.
Try to follow that dude at the cellar.
And not. Okay? So it is. He's like a comedian that raps. You can't follow it. So
what's his name?
Shots fired.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of them.
Shout out Derek Gaines.
Yeah. So I was
he was not talking about Derek.
Yeah.
He was. There's an English
I love
guy.
Derek Gaines. Okay.
I forgot it. I don't know.
You know exactly who
I
he
honestly
is.
don't.
I know exactly.
Well, no, I honestly really don't.
The
There's a
one
few
guy
of them.
that does it at the cellar that you followed and then ate dick.
No, I always go when I do the comedy cellar. I always say before 10 p.m. So I'm always on the nice and early shows where it's just a bomb fest for everybody. Everybody's just kind of mailing it in at 7 p.m. and we're just having fun. And then I go home, get the kids to bed, and throw on Hitler in English. But I'm just saying
to go to sleep.
Well,
right?
no, what we're saying is because there was just having a conversation about
Do you
it.
remember the last episode? It was all parenting techniques.
Right.
I think
and
we
now
just
I've lost
found
my
a new
family.
one.
So, but what Hitty, So the thing is with him,
He's so uncomfortable.
because when people always ask how the hell could Germany stand by and do this stuff, it's because Hitler was that gifted of an orator. He was able to take the German people and make them do atrocious things that when they woke up from the smoke, they're like, why did I do that? It's like he convinced you to do it. Dude. So that's what he did to my girl in a minute, accidentally.
I mean, he had to be that good. When you look at a guy telling you how much the Jews are a problem and look that much like a Jew and convince you, you're like, this dude, his speaking, they didn't even notice that he looked like
he was like blonde hair, blue
was like,
eyes.
we're the superior people. The kid was a squeak and he fucking, he's like, we're superior. We're like, where? You?
Yeah.
You're 5'6".
I was like, you look at your fucking art, dude. It sucks.
You look like you're a fucking accountant. And he's like,
Seriously.
where's the people? Where's the ones?
And he was a
you?
vegetarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Dude, if I put on paper, vegetarian, loves animals, and great speaker, and then I put on the other one, eats meat, really uncomfortable to be around and wants to kill everybody. And I said, which one's the good guy? Which one's the bad guy? You would obviously say, oh, the guy who eats meat and wants to kill everybody is the bad guy. I'd be like, no, that's Winston Churchill. And then the good guy that you thought on paper was Hitler.
Yeah. Churchill wanted to kill everybody.
Well, that's what
Churchill
some people
really hated Indians, so I don't fuck with Churchill.
That's what I'm saying.
Really
That's why I made unblinking eye contact with you when I said Churchill. I wanted you to feel it.
He wasn't too fond, right?
He did not like it.
Yeah.
The Holy
No, he
British
hated
Empire.
it. He thought we were roots.
Yeah. He
Just
did not
so
like
funny.
you guys. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I guess it's a bad time to finish what Churchill said about the Greeks then.
What did he say?
He said, from here on in, we will no longer say that Greeks fight like heroes. I get chills when I think about it. We will say that heroes fight like Greeks.
yes.
Fucking, hold on.
Big one.
Yeah.
Young's coming.
I love it. Yeah.
He said that.
He said that.
said that.
That's
And
his quote.
he failed against the Turks like the Greeks as well. Why do you think he would say that? He had a historic failure in World War
really,
I.
I mean-
Why do you think that is?
Because, the Muzzies are just tricky, dog.
Okay.
The
Why?
Muzzies are tricky.
Who's trickier, though?
Right.
Muzzies are,
They're good.
They're good.
And Muzzies, by the way,
they're good.
Muzzy, they're the best scientists since antiquity. Always the cleanest people, right? Like in the Crusades, you always talk about you read these accounts and it's like the Muslims would say they could smell the Christian army coming from miles away because they were just barbaric.
No, they had good. They had janissaries. So what they would do, like you always gotta unify but conquer. Unify in the right ways, divide in the right ways. So what the Ottomans would do is they would take a Christian boy, young from the family, and then they would indoctrinate him and turn him Muslim, and then he would go kill other Greeks. So they were like Manchurian Candidate, fucking brainwashed, kind of like King Z. Z's got an interesting story. That's why he's so dangerous to me. King Z, dog. Bow down. Fucking
I don't know who King
King
Z is.
You don't know who Z is?
Do you know who King Z is?
Zoran?
You guys are gonna know real soon.
Zoran Mamdani?
I call him King Z, but he's Z, the president of China.
Xi.
Oh, Xi.
I don't do the whole Xi Z. Tomato. Who's
The thing is with us is
what am I
we're
fucking
split out-
Chinese?
Here's the
I don't
thing.
say hello. I say hello. Did I say hello? I'm not speaking Chinese.
Here's the thing about us
It's
as-
Z to me. It says it's a Z and an I.
Here's the
You want me
thing
to do Xi?
here's the
Z,
thing-
I thought it's
Xi.
Xi, same
Xi.
shit. I'm stupid.
No. What it is
XY is xylophone in your defense.
Isn't it ZI?
What we call-
it's XI.
what we
Z.
call Yannis is Yanni almost, because Yanni will have a great point as he's about to make, and then one thing will be
Yeah,
almost off.
I've
and then
noticed.
as History Hyenas, we're both almost there. Like, I'll give you an excellent point, well researched about Greek mythology, and give you points that will wrap around into present day America, but I will accidentally the entire time be calling Plato Pluto.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
That's just how it
That's
goes.
just how we are.
So his story is very interesting because his father was like killed by the communists. And then he was taken as a kid and indoctrinated, much like a janissary, to love the Communist Party and stuff like that.
The Ottomans would
He's
do
like a
this with the
machine.
women too. Wouldn't they all take like orphan girls, and that's who the
They would take boys too. This is a true story.
but they
it
would
is
impregnate the orphan girls.
Yeah,
So
right.
they wouldn't be one bloodline and like one royal family, right? There was like a harem of all these orphan girls. So sometimes the kids were like Jewish or Muslim.
Didn't matter.
The Crete didn't matter. It was kind of an interesting way
Back-
to like
but they-
continue a bloodline.
But he would take boys too.
They took
because
boys,
back
too.
in the day, back in ancient history, everybody was for the table.
It's for
you
the
took
table.
everybody. It didn't matter, boy, girl. You were just gonna get eaten sexually, and
I
it's
thought
what it
Giannis's
was.
tooth fell out, but it was really a sesh.
It was just a sash. It was a sash. Use sash, kids. Love sash.
The disclosure, I have invested in a company. Disclosure, FTC, disclose. We're disclosing, okay? Continue.
In sash?
You have to disclose.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you better
yeah.
disclose when
You
you
gotta
sit next to me,
disclose.
because if
All
not,
right.
Dan Bongino will take a
He's
look.
on that X.
So when
You were saying, though.
I'm
you were
saying I
yes.
want a sponsorship of Sash on the History
Well,
Hyenas.
we don't do
Let's business.
sponsorship. You can invest. You know
I
what I
will
mean?
fucking invest.
Yeah, I know you
got
will. I
about
believe
10
you. Listen, you're a
bucks.
property
Yeah,
owner.
I'll
You're
got
put
some
up the house.
property. I got
That's some collateral.
You got
No, but you were going to say about Xi.
So yeah, I told you about Z.
You're finished?
No, I was
your
going to
point.
say about my grandfather. It's a true story. I swear to God. So,
Yeah.
which Z's a Manchurian candidate.
Why do we talk about Xi Jinping?
Xi Jinping Pong?
Yeah.
So my
His daughter went to an Ivy League school.
Yeah.
That's what people say. Oh, how could it be that bad? His daughter went to an Ivy League school. I'm like, yeah, she's
Chinese.
spying.
Yeah, and she's Chinese.
Hello? Why do you think she's fucking
Didn't
went
a
to Ivy
couple
League?
teachers smuggle like some chemical weapons in?
Yeah.
100%, dude.
That's insane.
They were going to kill the crops.
Dude, it's crazy. Some of
And
that-
then I think Trump in this most recent agreement with China allowed them to have the students here again.
Yeah.
A lot of Donny flip-flops. I don't like this.
Because listen, dude, it's like
Listen, bro, people
you
are people.
can't stop the Chinese. It's like saying if you're going to say there's no more Chinese in the Ivy League, that's like saying no more blacks in the NBA. I mean, they are the blacks
Just real quick.
for Ivy Leagues.
Well,
Chinese,
it's
you
true.
can't-
Come on,
yeah.
come on.
And Indians.
Come on.
Yeah.
Indians too,
Keep game
but
going.
Chinese really. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, don't.
Chinese.
Don't do
No,
that.
Indians are the best.
We're
Dude,
the-
look at
come on.
India and Pakistan. They can't even get a plane off the ground, and they got the most nukes of anyone in Asia. I mean, Indian scientists. And these guys are just making
That's
nukes.
why Air India sucks. We're making
Indians
nukes.
too. Indians are killing it too.
I love Indians.
All right, guys, let's take a break for a second. Today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. Acorns is a financial wellness app that helps you take control of your money with simple tools, making it easy to start saving and investing for your future. Financial wellness is possible, and Acorns gives you small, simple steps to get you and your money on track. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that matches you and your money goals. You don't need to be rich. Acorn lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now, even if all of you got is spare change. I think it's actually an amazing tool.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that. It's just about understanding compound interest and how that can, benefit you and your future 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now.
Yeah.
This is not like picking random letters on the stock market and hoping they explode, right? This is not what we call investing now, which is really gambling. This is about setting money aside, investing in companies or in a plethora of companies that you believe will succeed over the long term and protecting your investments. I think it's a fascinating way of going about investing, probably a lot probably not dissimilar to how the idea of the stock market began.
Yeah.
So right now, I want you to sign up, and you can join over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $25 billion with Acorns. Plus, Acorns will boost your new account with a $20 bonus investment. Offer available at acorns.com/flagrant. That is acorns.com/flagrant to get your $20 bonus investment today. And also, this is a paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 2 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors LLC and SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/flagrant. Let's get back to the show. Guys, let's take a break for a second. We got to shout out Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon, first of all, been with us for years.
Yep.
You obviously know them from their high protein, zero sugar cereal. They also got the treats. They have reinvented your childhood nostalgia and flavors, but without all that sugar that gave you ADD. Magic Spoon is also launching a brand new high protein granola. True to the Magic Spoon promise, it is packed with protein and deliciously crunchy. It's absolutely fantastic. Obviously, the treats, we know Magic Spoon's high protein treats are crispy, crunchy, airy, and an easy way to get 12 grams of protein on the go. You might not have time to sit down, pour the milk into the bowl with the cereal, and have that delicious breakfast. You might have to be on the go. Grab those treats and also the granola. Brand new, 13 grams of protein, zero added sugars. They come in delicious flavors like dark chocolate, almond, honey almond, and peanut butter. And right now, you get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/flagrant, or look for Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/flagrant for $5 off. Now let's get back to the show.
So my dad's family was from Ivros, right? So it was a part of the Ottoman Empire. So they actually sent my dad to Egypt, to Alexandria, because the local viceroy, I don't know I can't remember what the Ottomans called it, but he's basically
The governor.
Yeah, governor of this place.
Yeah.
He would rape Greek boys. That was his thing.
Oh, really?
He was into it. Yeah.
It's just what
Why
it
is that? Why has
How
that been
old are you?
consistent
I
throughout
thought you were about to
history?
say, why is that bad?
No, it just seems like a consistent thing with the Greeks. It's like, what is it so special about you guys?
It's not consistent with the Greeks.
Hairless
no, this is the
assholes.
Ottomans were doing it.
Right? The Greeks are hairless?
That's the interesting thing about them. They don't have hair. They have everywhere but the asshole.
Oh, so they're like a chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly.
I get it. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes. That's why they're prime candidates. And Korean people have genes where they don't smell.
Yeah.
Koreans do not smell, can't smell, no BO, stinkless people. So
that's why they
that's
make
I
the
like
best
them as well.
lady boys too, Asians, because they're starting
Yes.
with an advantage with no hair, so they're more believable.
Yes.
They don't got to get rid of all that.
Yep.
They kind of.
So you were saying your dad got sent away.
So
Your
To
dad
Alexandria.
raped a Greek boy.
my dad raped the Greek boy, so they sent him to Alexandria because this. He never saw his family again
to avoid being.
being raped. So he was like the.
Did he
I
have any
guess he was
brothers?
like the
Did your dad have
Moses.
brothers?
Huh?
Did your dad have brothers?
He did have brothers.
And how did the family pick his asshole to save?
Because he might have been the cutest. He might have been the cutest.
Here's the thing
Yeah.
with being Greek
Might have just
too.
been the cutest.
Is gay will touch you. It's going to get you one way or another.
Yeah.
Like Yanni's got one of three. Now one of his brothers is fully gay.
Fully.
Like full out of the closet.
Which we
like
call fully charged.
actual fully
$3
charged.
bill.
Has
$3
sex
bill.
with men.
Yeah.
And then Yanni was nicked.
I was Nick.
Yanni was nicked by the gay gene, not fully gay, but not fully straight.
What does that mean? How did you figure that out?
I got nicked just because of my tastes. I mean, I dress up in a dress and put a wig on.
Yeah.
You know.
Talk about the most famous thing he's ever done.
I don't think females are that gay.
No.
I mean, there's certain things where I'm
We
talked about
actually
this on the
proved
pod.
it. Yanni proved it to me scientifically why masturbating to trans porn is actually the
It's a
most
solution.
manly thing you can do. And it's the solution because he showed me an article and then we spent hours speaking about it where he said that this is a neurological thing. When you watch porn, the two most excitable parts of the male brain that stimulate your sexual organs are when you see big tits and a big dick.
Yeah.
That's what you will subconsciously fast forward through porn if the guy's piece isn't big enough. So if you combine a big piece and big titties, you have a trans person, that's the type of porn that gets you the most excited. And that's what
or
Giannis
you
has
just have
explained
a
to me.
little bit of an imagination. You just call it a horniness antenna.
Or you
That's
call
all
it what
it
it
is.
really is.
It's just horny.
Horny, or you
Yeah.
call it, again, another version of a loophole.
Yeah.
How is it cheating
a
on you,
loophole.
babe, if that's a guy?
Yeah. Or was a guy.
Or was a guy?
Yeah,
Was
if
a
it's
guy.
not gay. You just go, oh, my dick was so big it broke through to the other side. Problem solved. I went right through her. Problem solved. Nobody can look at you. Anyone? I want anyone to look at Carmen Carrera and tell me that's a guy.
Oh, what a babe.
Pull it up.
Tell me that's
Hold
a
on,
guy.
Carmen Carrera.
Look at me and tell me that's a guy with a straight face. Even Alex will admit it, and it's not. Those are things that's not easy to admit in his community. But when
Alex,
Found out. We know what's going on.
you're about to see who it is. Don't worry.
I mean, just go to her Instagram. Carmen Carrera. Don't act like you haven't fucking Googled it before.
This kid.
Look at this kid
Look
in
at
the
this kid. He
glasses.
looks like a disguise face.
Is Carmen?
This guy looks like a disguise Halloween. Who the fuck is this kid?
Don't act like you don't know who Carmen Carrera is, dog.
She's the one from the Joe Budden
guy's face.
clip, right?
Hey, pull up the disguise face and then pull up this kid.
Wait,
Pull
that's
up
not her.
That's not her. Who the hell is that?
Yeah.
Pull up a disguise face and look at this kid.
This guy's face is unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Look at this fucking kid. This kid bought his face at a 99-cent store.
You got it on your phone already.
Oh my God.
Is that a guy?
That's incredible. Oh my God.
This is the girl from the Joe Budden clip.
Is it?
You know the one where he finds out on the couples therapy show? You haven't seen that one?
No.
Al, you know what I'm talking about?
Where he turns his head slow?
Yeah, he turns his head slow and he's like, what the fuck is going on? So he's in a couples therapy. Yeah. Yeah, she looks shockingly female.
Shockingly female.
Yeah.
Which one is she on? That left?
Left, yeah.
No,
It's
she's not.
just, it's something people got to accept, you know? Like,
Gorgeous.
we can go to Mars, we can cure cancer, we can change
Have you ever dabbled?
No, I haven't dabbled.
Would you feel uncomfortable dabbling?
No. I mean, I'm married, I would
No,
never.
if- obviously in a hypothetical scenario.
I mean, it depends.
What does it depend on?
Yeah. If she says yes.
Is that what it depends on?
Depends on how if I'm
Consent?
fooled. I'm fooled.
No, that doesn't count.
What do
If
you
you're
mean?
fooled, it doesn't count.
You're saying going into it.
Going
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it, going absolute. I wouldn't care. If I see a woman, it's what I'm attracted to, and if she's got a piece, we're just doing something.
When the
different
piece
tonight.
is
I go,
there-
we're doing something different
If the
tonight.
piece
When the
is
piece
there,
gets hard.
you're not going to let the piece
I
stop
just
you.
say, I guess we're doing something different tonight.
So when you're all
Sometimes you have Italian, sometimes you have Mexican for dinner. You just do something
Sometimes
different. You got
doing something
You like a little
different.
something different.
Prezzy, have you ever done a little something different?
I've never done a little something different with a trans person, but I will. I have publicly said that I'd like to go the first 50 years of my life straight and the last 50 gay. I'm an explorer. So I like to explore all types of things. It's not out of the question. It's not out of the question for me to at some point dabble. But I don't want to do it now. I have a beautiful family. I have a beautiful life, a beautiful
Don't risk
fiance.
it.
So I'm not gonna risk that.
y'all still ain't married?
Huh?
Y'all still ain't married?
No, but
How many fucking kids do you got?
well, 3 kids, and the thing is, I got to do it now because
This
now
guy's committed to fucking trainings for 50 years before he gets married.
that's what
to
it is.
his
I got to do it now because now she wants citizenship.
Son, how old are you?
40.
So he's gonna be 10 years and then he goes waiting around. He's waiting around.
No,
Can't do it, babe. I'm gay
getting-
now. This is my gay years.
we are getting married. We got engaged on January 6th. Swear to God.
Which is a holiday at a lot of people's
Which is a
houses.
holiday, yeah.
Yeah. They do an AOC pinata. They get zip ties and
the whole
zip tie
thing.
grandma. Yeah, some people's houses that's a holiday.
That is,
I
yeah.
don't. I will say it's not out of the question. I'm not looking for it.
Right.
I don't want to right now. I support whatever people want to do. Right now, I'm not interested in having.
You wouldn't take some head? You
hooking
wouldn't
up with a trans. Listen, like I said, I grew up in Queens. I've gotten blowjobs from girls with mustaches, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Italian chicks. You know what I mean? You know who you are. Shout out Sabrina Patizzi. But Howard Beach. But you get a little bit of a tickle. That's how you came. So I would. I'm not interested now. I'm certainly not interested now.
What's the gayest thing you've ever done?
He got mouth fucked when he was 14 years old.
Being altar boy.
He's told this story on the pod.
Yeah, the gay.
Well,
yeah,
is that the gayest thing you've ever done?
I've never really done. I mess around. I've begged Mateo Lane to tell me I'm gay, and he's like, "Buddy, you're not gay. I can tell you're not gay. It's just a thing that I think I have fun with, and it's my comedy."
Well, I
and
think-
being Catholic, I think we're all just all boy Catholic high schools. It's like you would get teabagged or teabag someone, and if they didn't laugh, you'd be like, "What are you gay?" It's like, no, I'm traumatized.
I think everyone lies, dude. I think everyone lies. I really do. I
Wait,
think everyone
Yannis,
lies.
question. You're having sex with a trans person or whatever. Penis
Okay,
is
hold
there.
on. Let me get my
Penis
dick
gets
out.
hard. Penis gets hard.
Yeah.
You're charged up.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
My penis gets hard as I'm charged up?
No, that girl with
Yeah.
the penis gets erect, as I assume it would because she's turned on.
Yeah, sword fight.
You putting your mouth on that dick or no?
Am I oh, that's a good question.
Because you're all horny. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's there.
probably.
You're already. Yeah, okay.
Says you gotta do
What
something
about
different.
this? We'll
I
make
mean,
it-
I don't know. I can't. You know, that's the thing. This is what's interesting about history, what we've learned, and what a lot of people.
Tell us what's interesting about
This is what we want to tell you about the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, this is. But seriously, when you look back in history,
Yeah, Greeks really do.
yeah, I'm here lobby. This is Pride Month, dude. I'm a great spokesperson.
Dude, do you know how many times I've walked into his apartment and he's not recording anything and he's just sitting there with the Marisa wig on?
That's what I do.
Just sitting there hanging out.
I just go, I will fuck me, that's right.
Yeah.
I will fuck me,
Yeah.
that's right. I would
He's just-
definitely fuck me.
Yeah.
Well, when you look back in history, a lot of them are manliest guys, and a lot of the cultures during these empires, there wasn't a concept like we have now of gay and straight. Alexander the Great had a favorite eunuch.
He was gay.
He had a gay
Fully gay.
lover.
He was gay.
Two of the best Roman emperors were gay, like Trajan, Hadrian. These guys were gay.
Hadrian was gay?
Hadrian was gay.
You weren't in a box back then. Now
Yeah.
we have all these rules and regulations. There was no rules and regulations back then. You just had a little fun.
You don't think there was any rules and regulations?
No, but not with sexuality. You spun the wheel. Listen, the only rule-
fucking do with all the
rule-
regulation.
Yeah,
you know
dude, the
what I mean?
only
It's
rule
like,
was don't be a Jew. That's the only rule of the Roman Empire. No, but everybody was gay back then.
Yeah.
All these guys, if you look, I mean, even at Abraham Lincoln, now it's like, oh, is Abraham Lincoln gay? It's like back then, everybody knew that the president before him, James Buchanan, 100% gay.
Really?
1,000%.
Buchanan was for sure
He
gay.
did not have a wife. He had
FDR's wife, definitely gay.
definitely 100% gay.
Yeah, yeah.
100%
Hot
gay.
Wheels wasn't gay.
No, FDR's
No,
wife.
FDR's wife, Eleanor.
Eleanor.
She was
Yeah.
a, she was
So
a,
they say.
Dude, she was wearing cargo pants
just
for
dude,
sure.
watch Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill Clinton's wife's gay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she goes,
yeah.
big.
Yeah, bug muncher, that one.
I think people
So
are.
what happened? Why do you think that we're so homophobic now?
I think religion.
But there's always been religion. You can make the argument that there was more religion back then.
I think the Abrahamic religions are exceptionally against homosexuality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's probably some societal reason.
Yeah.
Probably Greeks are doing too
Well,
much.
I think one of seriously. Well, I also think we're living. I know
It's not
that
really gay if the boy can't consent.
right.
I think
you
you're
know-
making the argument for boys.
Dude, we weren't the only ones. Ottomans, right? Chinese dynasties,
Spanish from Spain.
Spanish. I mean, we weren't the only ones.
Spanish were doing
No, I just want to lump them in because I just want to make it a point that
Yeah.
they started slavery. I want to make sure everybody knows that.
The boy stuff is kind of inexcusable.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
right?
kind of hard
Bang
to
out another
understand.
boy.
Yeah. It's kind of, maybe that's how bad the fumes were, that guys had to create alternatives.
I think
because
that-
there was no shaved hair back then, and the fumes do get caught in the hair.
Gets
And
bad.
maybe the guys just were like, you know what, tonight I just don't feel like dealing with the
Well,
fumes.
I think that it's
I think
also
pregnancy might have been a concern.
Pregnancy concern.
Maybe impregnating someone that you don't want to.
Yeah.
You're just trying
Well,
to
they
get
had
Exactly.
condoms back in the day.
What's that?
They had condoms.
Like what was it, like sheepskin
yeah,
or
it was
something?
like a sheep colon or some shit. Yeah.
They just use a Jew's foreskin.
Yeah, seriously. No, but I also think that nowadays
Instead of using a sheep's colon, I'll just use a boy's colon. Turns out that works.
that's why he's having sex with him. He's trying to get in that colon, rip it out.
The human mind is really crazy.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really is kind of, we're very weird.
It's the
I don't know
Greeks,
how
it's
those
the Greek
wires
mind.
get
The Greek
crossed.
mind.
Yeah, don't put it on
But
us.
I think that even though there's a lot of problems today, there's
Yeah.
war and a million problems going on, ultimately, comparative to the past, you're living a great life.
Oh, absolutely.
So now you have a lot of time to get enraged at who's gay and who's not. Back then, it's like you're either going to die in the war, you're going to die of polio, somebody's going to kill you.
Yeah.
So you're like, do you care if your president's sexual proclivities? Nobody cared. They were like,
How often was like a town getting sacked back in the day?
Oh, dude.
And
Always
like,
under
what
threat
did
of
that look like? Like you have a town, there's probably like a few hundred people living in it.
A lot of grape juice.
yeah,
A lot of grape juice.
he means.
Yeah.
you got it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
He just
No,
didn't
I'm
want to
just-
repeat
so
the
I'm
word.
just
which I
wondering, it's like
did
you're doing
into
your
the
thing,
mic.
you're farming, you're doing
Stop
whatever,
looking at me,
and then like
disguised face.
some army shows up.
Yeah.
All I see is his shirt.
This guy's face is unfucking dude.
You gotta show Joey on camera so he can't unsee it.
It's unbelievable.
But like, how
dude.
regular was that happening?
It was so regular, man.
So was like was conquering that hard? Like, and we give all this credit for like Alexander the Great, like going to conquer all these places, but was it really just showing up with more guys?
You guys really want to stick it to the Greeks, dude. You're talking about the Floyd
He
Mayweather.
wasn't even Greek.
Yeah,
he was
Alexander the Great was
Macedonian. He would
Greek.
never identify as Greek.
Macedonia is Greek. He was the Floyd Mayweather of conquerors.
I also think
undefeated.
Philip apparently did a lot of. He set up a lot of that shit and then
Did set him
died.
up.
And then
Yeah, he was a
Alexander
little bit of a nepo baby.
Yeah.
But he took it to another level. He's like the
Yeah.
Steph Curry. You know, his dad was Del Curry, but
Yeah.
he was the Steph Curry.
You know what I always think about? Like,
and he
back
was
then,
Greek as fuck.
How did they know with these
Macedonian.
big land masses? Like, how did they know where the other army was going to be?
There's got to be like one road.
Yeah, but couldn't I feel like even that, like, how would I know? Like, oh, how does Genghis Khan know? It's like they're going to be there.
You follow the river.
You think?
People live on the river, yeah.
Yeah, you just kill them all? I guess. That's what you think.
Yeah. I don't think there was like a phoenix back in the day.
Yeah.
Like where they
Right.
just make a place in the middle of the desert. I think everything's by a body of water. You follow the body of water, eventually run into some people, take
Right,
over their
right,
town. So
Right.
That's what we did. We just conquered each other over and over
that's
again.
what I'm trying to wonder. It's like, you're this town, there's 300 people. The Ottomans come in, they're like, we're in charge. You go, well, will you protect us from these people that are raiding? They go, yeah, we'll do it. I'm like, okay, you guys are in charge.
You do it.
I wonder if it was
that-
that much actual like battle.
But that's the problem with culture, is like,
And we're giving all this credit to these people who've like won all these wars, but like if you're winning a war against someone who's not even really fighting back, they're just like, hey, just protect us. It's
I've
like,
always suspected that because when you think about like the tales of Alexander the Great being in the front,
it's
you're
like
going
you would never be in the front.
Yeah. Did you
if
just
were
tell
actually
your
gonna
scribe he was probably on the back on his horse, just like just make it, just put me in the front. Like, oh, that looks bad because if you're in the front,
You can't believe any of the old history shit.
Yeah.
no.
I don't even know if you could believe like revolution shit.
Yeah.
Low key.
Dude,
I mean, we know who won, but
That's why Tyler Hero has the best theory right now. You heard what he said.
I don't believe
he
in
says he
history.
doesn't believe in history.
yeah.
He does
I
not.
think you can just do
He
that
said
now.
it in the dumbest way, but he's not exactly wrong.
Right.
Where it's just like whoever wins kind of like writes it in the way that's most favorable, and then we just make movies about that, and then it's solidified.
Just read a book or Google or like do some research on whatever history you believe. Read the opposition side. Like read American history from the Nazi side, from the British side. Read it. No, I'm saying read it from their side, and then you get a clearer picture of like, whoa, what actually happened? Because it's just two versions of the same story.
Yeah, what do the Brits say about the Revolutionary War?
The Brits say about the Revolutionary War, when you look at the British, they say that they fought, they wanted to, these colonies, the 13 colonies, which still is just the best landmass in the world. I really genuinely only fuck with the 13 colonies. I like the American 13 colonies. When I go on I was just in New Mexico. It's like, this wasn't part of the plan. I know it's American now, but it's like I get there and I'm like, the people were fine, but it's like, dude. And then I'm there in Santa Fe, the capital. I love state capitals. I love taking pictures in front of state capitals. A little autistic. And I like it. But I'm there in Santa Fe. And it's like these people with the No Kings thing, they're doing the No Kings protest, and it's like, guys, you're not even really a place. Like, you're not even really state. And it's like, I have to see, like, and it brings out these protests, brings out the most nuts people. Like, you ever seen a trans Native American person? It blows your fucking mind.
They've had those forever, though.
they
That
go
was
to
kind of their thing.
Two-Spirit.
Yeah, the Two-Spirit.
You mind
Yeah.
if I take a sesh?
Please.
This trans Native American was
Disclose. We're disclosing, by the way.
Disclosing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so anyway, these 13 colonies, the British believed that, we got to fight for them. We want them. There's an uprising here, blah, blah, blah. And then when it became not financially good for the British anymore, they just left. So yes, France came and
That's
helped.
called losing a war.
Right, but no, but there was like Britain was fighting like 10 other wars at the time of the Revolutionary War. So even the soldiers that the 13 colonies were fighting were not the best of Britain. Britain was fighting in India.
That's what they would say, of course.
Right, but
because they would send their best to India where they don't even have weapons.
yeah.
But India was worth a lot.
But the British would say, hey, they let, France came, we left, whatever. It wasn't, we were losing too much money trying to hold on to these colonies. So let them go. Because what we know about 1776. We know about that war, our American Revolution. We beat the mighty British. All these things are true with little quirks here and there. Yeah. But then you don't really learn much about the War of 1812. Why? Because the British beat us. But the War of 1812 in Britain, you learn about that. But in America, that's a day. You got to research the War of 1812.
Wait, what happened in the War of 1812 that they beat us?
The British basically knocked us. It wasn't about territory. The War of 1812 was, we got the Louisiana Purchase out of that, like Thomas Jefferson.
But Jefferson worked that out with the French.
Yeah, with the French, but the British.
What a deal.
I mean, that's how you know.
That might be the greatest real estate
He
deal in
had
history.
some Jewish advisors for that deal. Like, we'll give you a good deal. We'll give you the whole list. You know, 2 pack of cigarettes and some belts. It's very good.
You know what's crazy about the Louisiana Purchase is like I always think about this, like whoever the smartest person is at I don't know, Elon Musk, right? Whoever the top person
He's
is.
the highest person.
They know, like if we look, people 200 years from now are going to look back at whatever it is we're thinking and be like, remember when they used to think like that, idiots?
Yeah.
Because it's just what it is. Thomas Jefferson, sitting active president of the United States, get the Louisiana Purchase, has Lewis and Clark in his office and says, guys, going to go out there. I want you to explore this territory. Okay, I want you to take extra people and extra weapons. We know there's Native Americans out there. We know there's going to be crazy terrain. There also could be dinosaurs. Absolutely could be dinosaurs. So we got to just be careful. And so at that point they literally, Thomas Jefferson, the president, was like, yeah, there could be a T-Rex out there running around Louisiana. So that always fascinated me because I don't know. I'm actually just buying time because I forgot why Britain won the war based off of what they got. But I just know they won, and I am just...
Isn't that how you get people excited to just go to the middle of nowhere and get bow and arrows shot at them? You go, listen, guys, I need you to go over here, and there's no civilization whatsoever, but you might see a dinosaur. Yeah. Like, doesn't that seem like you kind of propagandize people moving out west?
Maybe, but or you just they didn't know any better yet. Like I don't think in 200 years from now we're going to be eating meat. I think they're going to look at us and be like, "What a bunch of barbarians!"
Savage. I think about that a lot.
They were. Remember when they used to eat animals and not understand that their consciousness is like the same as ours?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Well, I hope that never happens.
Yeah, I don't know if that's happening.
I want
that's happening.
And
because technology will be to the point that there will be some lab-grown shit that will taste the exact same.
Oh,
I
there
can't
already
believe. And then what's going to be funny is they look at our heroes and they're like, that guy,
Yeah.
he ate meat. He killed animals. The same way we look at like slave owners 200 years ago.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do that with our guys now in 200 years. Be like, that guy killed so many, just ate meat whenever he wanted to.
Who?
Whoever.
Whoever
the heroes
Look
are
at
today.
Obama or something.
Yeah.
Be like first black president.
They're going to pull up
What?
Joe Rogan clips and be like, this guy killed bears, dude. This guy is
What
a
a
monster.
scumbag.
Yeah.
We have to take the statue of him in Austin down.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's take a little break for a second. Talk about these NBA finals. I think OKC wraps it up.
I know. Game 5, I think the Pacers had their shot and fucked it over. Game 4 was. They could have gone up 3-1.
Yeah.
And they fucked it.
What happened to Tyrese?
I don't know. He's hurt, but he's 0 points in the first half. Just don't play at that point.
Yeah.
What was the injury, David? The Tyrese Halliburton had. Oh, yeah.
It's interesting because if they lose, nobody remembers this playoff run.
Yeah.
It is one of the great playoff runs by an NBA basketball player in history. Like, stole multiple games, game winners, fantastic outings, and OKC is going to win, and then none of those mean anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of craCrazy.
And no one cares that OKC's won.
Yeah.
It's Oklahoma's.
Yo, shout out OKC, though. Like, there's no reason that team should be good based on, like, any metric in terms of, like, a small market team with limited budget. No NBA stars want to go play there.
No.
And they find a way to
always
be in it.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of young boys, bro.
But they did it back with the
Kevin
young
Durant,
boys
Russell Westbrook, James Harden.
Before, yeah.
What is that? Just front office?
I think it's
That guy Sam Presti's
they're
a
just
fucking
nice.
genius, too.
They get it. They draft well. They know the only chance they have is drafting well.
Yeah.
And then when they have to make some big trades, they go all in.
Yeah, and they'll sign role players like Hartenstein was perfect for what they needed. Alex Caruso was perfect for what they needed.
We could have used some Hartenstein. Yo.
Yeah.
Like a guy who won't turn that won't turn the ball over, can kind of dribble and will play D.
Any contender could use Alex Caruso. How you don't pay that guy? Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
He didn't sound like a massive deal.
He said something funny. He was there's a guy Jalen Turner who's like the other star on the team.
Yeah.
He was saying like, man, everybody's saying Alex Caruso is this great defender. I'll be cooking him in practice or something like that. And he goes, Alex says, yeah, once I got an NBA contract extension, I haven't been putting as much effort in my practice.
Jalen Williams, what's his name?
Sorry, Jalen Warner. Sorry,
Yeah,
Williams.
yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
my bad,
OKC
my bad,
just
my bad.
defensively is
Yeah,
just
man, they're everywhere.
dominant. Huh?
Yeah, and they have like they have guys that can bring the ball up fast. Like I love Jalen Brunson. I love him. I run faster than him.
Right.
I can run faster straight than Jalen Brunson. And he could barely bring the ball up against the Pacers. I can run faster than him in a straight-on race.
At 41 years old.
At 41 years old. I think at 51,
I think we
I'll
need
be
to
able
bring
to run
Jalen
faster.
Brunson on the podcast and do this.
I love Jalen.
What's his 40 time?
Jalen.
Yeah.
You do
We would
yoga
love for
stretches.
Jalen.
Yeah.
Jalen, let's cut a promo. Jalen Brunson, Andrew Schultz, global phenomenon comedian, says he is faster than you, global phenomenon NBA star.
Yeah.
In a
Straight
foot
up
race.
Foot race. Straight up foot
92
race.
feet, end-to-end basketball court,
Any amount
93,
of feet.
whatever it is.
Any amount of
Before
feet.
you do cat cows or after?
You said distance. He says he will beat you in a straight
No, I
line
need to
race.
do my cat cows.
If you do your cat cows,
I
then
do
I think
all
you
my
got 'em.
stretches, cat
If
cows.
it's cold, no cat cows, I think you're in trouble.
Come on, flagrant. We will do this.
I genuinely believe it, just straight up. I'm not saying that I'm a better basketball player.
No,
I mean,
no. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that.
I'm
We
not
don't think you're
that-
saying
I'm-
something different.
I'm not saying that he's better than me at basketball. Like, I think he's a better shooter. I think he's a better dribbler. I think that he uses his body way better. Like, it's amazing what he can do being so limited with speed. I think I've been faster than Jalen Brunson since I was 14 years old. I mean that. I mean that's 100%
If
seriously.
you told me 21-year-old you could
Yeah.
beat him in a foot race, there's
You
no
would
way
agree.
of knowing. There's no
You
way
would
of
agree.
knowing.
You
I would
barely
but
beat
41
5'0" Taylor from Brilliant Idiots.
Taylor's a track star. She's a
I think
track star.
barely.
I think she could beat him. I think Taylor
Wait,
could beat.
didn't he beat her ass and she like pulled a
did.
hamstring?
I
To be
Barely.
fair?
I did.
I think he
did.
beat the shit out of her and she
Yeah,
pulled a
but
hamstring.
it's funny.
That-
It's funny if you said
Let's
he
call it
barely
like
beat
it is. He beat Taylor's ass. She ended up just getting pregnant. She was like, there's nothing else
Yeah,
for
I
me to
gotta
do as a
settle
woman.
down.
I just
I
gotta
helped her settle down.
Yeah.
With all due respect. With all due respect.
I do not think you'll beat Jalen Brunson in a foot race.
I think in a foot race,
at 41 with a bad ankle.
2.
Son, you got that thing with the wood thing that you got to stand on.
I know. I do it every single time. It's like I got to stretch out the Achilles. I would have to do a proper stretch of everything, but I'm saying in a foot race, we're not dribbling a basketball. If we were dribbling basketball, I think it'd be me. But if we were just in a foot race,
Yes.
and it was just start here and get to there, as long as it's enough distance where I could pick up speed,
Okay, 100 meters.
it's not even close.
Okay,
I
okay.
mean that
We
sincerely.
have to make this happen.
I mean that sincerely. I don't
Jalen,
know.
you're in New York. It's the off season. It's a part of your training. Let's do it.
I don't even think it's close. Like I
if
think
you want
it
to
would be
bet
bad.
on that, hey,
Oh,
steak.
I'm betting
Let's have
everything
steak
on
set up a
Jalen.
fucking. Let's have steak set up a bet.
Yeah, I think he's a better basketball player than me. I just want to point this out. I'm not out here saying like I knew that I could beat Jason Williams when I played him one-on-one. I knew that would happen because I think
If
I'm a better.
if he gave you 7 in a game to 8.
It doesn't matter. Like if he gave me 4, I would have done it. I did what it was needed to be done.
Bullshit.
I did what was needed to be done.
Bullshit.
I didn't ask for it. He gave it to me. I was like, okay, I'll make it interesting. I think.
Schultz is a psycho competitor. I saw him do a 10-minute plank
Son,
one time. No training, just out
It
of
was
nowhere.
11 minutes and 48 seconds.
For no reason. For
No.
nothing on the line. And
Yeah.
he was like, I'm going to do a plank for 11 minutes.
Well, because somebody said that they could outplank me, and they busted first.
Okay,
I'm
but
actually impressed by that.
I
That's
think
a long
you were
ass
there.
time.
I think actually.
Really?
Yeah, we can't exactly say who it is.
it's incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
But
I'll put my body on the line. and then
Jalen Brunson is a top 5 NBA player, quite possibly, if not 6, 7.
top 5 to me. I mean, I think he's so good. Like I said, he's better than me at basketball. What I'm saying is, in a straight-on race, I am better than him.
Mm-hmm. This is a future Olympic athlete.
It's just genetics. It's like, do you have fast twitch or not? I have more fast twitch.
Okay.
I also have long legs. I have a lot of advantages that are unfair.
He
I'm
twitches
all
fast.
legs. My
Yes.
twitches are unbelievable.
He's one of the fastest twitchers
All the
I've
twitches
seen.
are in your legs.
Jalen's twitches are much. Can he slow down faster than me? Yeah. If it was who can get to the fastest speed and then slow down,
There's a brick wall in front of you.
Jalen. I'm going
yeah.
through the brick wall. I'm going through the brick wall, 100%. I would say he's a better athlete.
Reluctantly.
I would say.
Lateral quickness, he got you.
Oh my God. I don't even know if I have that anymore.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm glad you brought this up.
no. I think he's got me on that. No, he's got me on everything pretty much in
At the
terms of
net,
basketball.
you're pretty good side to
I
side.
am pretty good side to side.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I am pretty good side to side. No, but in just a straight race, I'm beating him. Put it this way. I could D him up like 94 feet. Like I could full court press against Jalen and I wouldn't be like worried. Like, yes, he would get and body me, but I could just
You would
run
maneuver
back
his
around
body
him.
in front of you.
It would take him 8 seconds to get the ball up
Yeah.
against me. I don't believe that at all. The other stuff I believe.
Okay.
Anyway, Steak, you can put some money on that.
Oh,
You know,
I'm
Steak
betting
is
on
the
that.
leader in global betting and U.S. social casinos. Bet on top sports and political events and use the promo code FLAGRANT for your welcome bonus. Now, let's get back to the show. What do you think happens with AI, Yannis?
Wow. This is the generation right now. Dude, Gen Zers, when you look in Gen Zers' eyes right now,
What do you see?
I see they are shell-shocked.
Yeah.
This is the generation that they're being told there's going to be no jobs when they grow up. They got all this World War III stuff going on. their whole lives are recordable.
Yeah.
So they're scared to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Right? Because their big thing is they don't want to be cringe.
No,
Like, oh, that's so cringe.
Yeah.
So one moment can define their whole life. So they're just walking around
Petrified.
scared to live. They're scared to live. This is the first time I have daughters, and my daughter's someday gonna be like, what should I be when I grow up? And I can't. I'm gonna be like, you got nice feet. Be a foot model on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Because I know that'll be there. So
Right.
it's like, I can't say,
No,
hey,
but
be a
some
nerd.
AI person
AI
will
feet
be
are
able
gonna
to
be
figure it
great,
out.
dude.
Yeah,
That's
but then
why
there'll be a fetish for human feet, and my girls got
They'll
good
be
ones.
indistinct.
I got to be honest with her, right?
crazy. No, but
I never
That's
thought about
crazy.
that. Like, what do you tell your kids when they go, I want to be this when you grow up, and you go, that job might not exist?
Well, what
Wow,
I think
never
is
considered that.
You look for a job that's way down the line. Like I'm telling my daughters already. I got a 3-year-old and 10-year-old. I'm saying plumbers. Be plumbers because AI is not going to be able to do plumbing. Plumber's not coming into your house for an AI version of a robot plumber's not coming in your house for another 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, another 100 years, I would say. Plumbers are coming through. So I think they should do trade skills. I would have my kids go to a trade school over an Ivy League school all day long.
You think they're not gonna have sewer
Nope.
systems?
No, I'm saying in the sewer systems or maybe they have some type of AI technology that can snake your toilet, but that
This is
guy's going to have to
craziness.
come in. I'm telling you, dude, I'm telling my daughters to be plumbers or some type of trade.
There's not gonna be nano robots that you can just dump in there and they take
You're
care.
not letting them into your house.
There's going to be discrimination against fucking robots.
Oh yeah, that's what's going to.
These
This.
fucking
I'm actually
ro-
excited about AI because this is going to get rid of our division.
We're
We're all going to
unite
come
against
together
them.
versus them.
Yeah.
White, black, Spanish, trans, Chinese. It don't matter.
Happy-
We're going to be up, and that's why I think it's good for all businesses. Not now. We got to get through this storm, but then eventually there's going to be a major need for. I want the human version of that. I want the human feet.
Yeah.
I want the human script.
Yeah.
I want the human
organic.
plumber.
Do you feel that way with teeth now? Like you see an actor with real teeth, like they don't have veneers.
It is
Kind
nice.
of nice.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
like, oh, I believe this character is a working class guy.
Yeah.
And then when you see one of these actors that has like these perfect veneers, you're like, I don't think you're working at the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
dude.
wonder if like authenticity comes back in a major way,
100%.
however we can find it.
I think so.
Like
I
seeing
think
things
so.
that are a little bit broken.
Yeah.
Like the music that's going to come out is going to be this perfect version of everything. Like, well, what if early recordings of like hip hop, like in the '90s, where you could kind of like hear the reverberation in the speakers. Like, I wonder if that is in the same way vintage clothing is kind of cool to this generation because they're like, oh, this was this real moment. I wonder if that manifests in all art.
I think it will. I agree with you. I think that's because it's already the unique experience. Like, seeing people on screens is like
Easy.
nothing now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now going to see someone live is like being on TV used to be.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So the live experience is not replicatable by AI. So we want to go do live things, but live shit is so fucking expensive now that people are kind of like hesitant.
Well, lower your fucking prices, dude.
I'm not on the road.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Smart to not be on the road right now.
Why is the road rough right now?
Yeah, it's not great.
So I wonder. I had a theory about this with comedy. Actually, I think that like I think the bubble has subsided a little bit.
Yeah, well, you can tell that by our ticket sales. We feel that.
Go
yeah.
check out Yannis and Chris on the
Go
road.
see Property Owner.
No, but I think there's a version of it. Like I remember Shane and I were doing a show in Canada, and it was an outdoor show, and there was fucking like 40,000 people. Like people were sitting on a bridge watching the show from the bridge, right? And I was like, yeah, this is the end of it. Like it should never be this big. Right. And it has to kind of come down. It doesn't mean it comes all the way down. But I think that like after COVID, everybody wanted to be outside. They wanted to laugh. Comedy dominated the culture. The most influential person in the world loves comedy. And because of that, there's like, interest in the people that he influences, obviously Rogan. And I think everybody got those experiences. And I think for a little bit now, they're just like, all right, we're cool. We saw 4 or 5 shows.
Yeah.
And then, I don't think it goes away entirely, but I think there's a little bit of a reset.
100%.
There's gonna be a purge.
Yeah.
You think? Oh, you think it's purge?
There's gonna be some we're cutting the fat or whatever. Like
Yeah, I just think
certain
it's a
comics are
little-
gonna whatever. Certain comics are gonna sustain, and you're just gonna see things kind of.
That's
even.
why I think the comedy clubs like I know there's a lot of people that they can't wait to get out of comedy clubs. Comedy clubs.
I love comedy.
Dude, I can't wait to go back to them.
No, comedy clubs, because that's what thrives during this time. It's like going to do a show. Like, don't get me wrong, the arenas are fucking awesome. It's amazing, etc. But
Tell me about it.
I don't. I will.
I love them.
They're incredible. No. But like, I don't think anybody gets tired of seeing their favorite comic with 200 people in a room.
It's
300
great.
people in a room. It's like incredible.
Also, too, the audience. One thing I realized too, the audience doesn't really care about the difference. Like if you want to go do a theater or an arena, it's amazing. Obviously make money, big people, but then you run the risk of like someone sitting in section 10,000 that was like, oh, I didn't even really think it was that funny. And it's not the performance, like you were distracted.
You got to make the show for them. Like that was the thing. When we were on the road, it's like when we were doing these big venues, it was like very intentional. How do you make the show so those people up there can experience it as close to those people down there? And I think a lot of people just go, oh, I do comedy shows in comedy clubs. Now I'm in a theater of 5,000 people. I'll just do the same thing. And it's like, well, people aren't going to come back if that's what you do. It has to change. When you do 50 people in a little like a one-off room in the city, it's going to be different than when you do 500 people. Yeah. Like, do you remember going to your first like Funny Bone where it was like 500 people?
Yeah.
And do you remember like your jokes feeling thin?
Yeah.
Like you're like, whoa, this is a little bit different. Like when there was 200 people packed in the cellar, I'm ripping, and all of a sudden it feels a little bit distant, right? So I think there has to be that adjustment. I think it just exploded, and I'm curious what happens the next 5 years.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely going to recede for sure. Because you're right, it's gotten to the peak.
Yeah.
It's like Steve Martin said in his book when he went to the stadium and he was like, this is when I knew this was not comedy
sustainable.
Anymore. Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, it became a part of people's identity to like comedy, want to see comedy, less than it was, I just like that person, I want to be there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
It's almost like football in Europe. Mm-hmm. Like I got to go see Man U because that's my team and I got to do it. Like comedy was people's team in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I think like now it goes, if I really like that person, I need to go see them.
And the problem is too, mention the economy. It's like they might really want to go see you, but for other comics who are on similar universes and podcasts,
$300 a night.
They went and saw them, and they're like, I just
babysitter.
don't have the money. I really would love to see you. I just don't have. And if maybe that year you don't get picked because they just saw you 18 months ago. Yeah. So you come back in the other one. But I think the comedy clubs too. It's also. I personally like just, we've been doing comedy 15 years, 20, 50, like we've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I realize like I'd rather do the packed comedy club or, small theater because then I feel like a comic. I know there's more money getting bigger like that. But I've also said to myself, well, also time is money and I got kids now. So it's like, do I want to go on a world tour? If I was going to do it, I would do it once and I would try to bring my family as much as possible because I love the art of stand-up. I will do stand-up all day till I die, hopefully soon. And but I hate the road. I do not care about performing in any other city. I couldn't care less how the room is, how the vibe is. I like being in New York. I like being home with my family. If my family's with me, I'll go anywhere. If they're not with me, I would truly love to just do it here as much as I can because I never considered the road. I started comedy before I had a family. Once you have a family, you're like,
things change, yeah.
What? Like I got to miss my kids' recital.
Yeah.
I know I'm making money and it's for them, but it's like, is it for them? My parents didn't leave me any money.
Move to Vegas, my boy.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's what happens.
Well, my girl can't leave state lines.
That'll change when you marry her in 9 years.
Yeah, I'm going to keep finding ways to push it back.
Yeah.
Buying time, baby.
You're serious? You're back in clubs? Because I put off theaters for like a year and a half. I think I'm finally going 2026.
I do the theaters now where I can really do the theaters. Where if it's like I can easily sell it out or you're adding shows at the theater, like New York, Boston, Chicago theater I'll do because those I can do it there. But the other places, why?
Do the theaters where you can add shows.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'll tell like a lot of guys. Where it's like a lot of people are so excited to do the theater, they don't realize you make less money in the theater.
Yes.
So they're just excited to do it so that they're saying that you're doing a theater, and that is like a cool accolade as a comedian. Like, I remember coming up like, oh, one day I'm going to be able to perform in a theater, right? But if you don't mind doing the thing, if you don't mind doing a few shows, then wait until you're doing multiple theaters.
For me,
the arenas are sick. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to seem like I'm bagging on it. Like it's fucking unbelievable. It was like
the way you do it, it's like fucking John Cena's coming out. Explosions. Yeah. I would just come out there and be like, hey guys, and they'd be like, what the fuck?
Well, that's what you can't, because then I feel like they get upset at that.
Yeah, so I should come out in like a toga.
No, just spend the money. Like it costs tens of thousands of dollars to put those fucking screens up. But that's the difference between somebody way back there who like spent all the money they saved up for a month to go to the show, enjoying it, and not. And if I was them and I saved up money for a month to go see the show and then I couldn't even really see the act, I'd be fucking pissed off too. So the idea, at least for us, is like, how do we make sure that every single one comes back And so far, you know, knock on wood, that's been, you know, the case. So
yeah. Arenas, and if you could do them, I mean, it's just obviously it's a big show financially. You just make so much money. But for me, when I'm on the road, I just look at the money I make on the road as freedom coupons to be back with my family.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to go do a theater and make way less money, I'm always going to pick the club because I'm like, this means that I don't have to go on the road for the next 2 weekends. That's really all I care about.
Yeah.
Like the moment you gave me an opportunity to make a full living, not leaving New York City, I would take it immediately.
that's called podcasting.
Well, I feel like I have it already. I feel like I could do that already, but it's just you convince yourself to stay in the treadmill. So that's why I like to just say publicly a lot, because then I like when my girl hears it and tells us, were you doing that already? With your podcast, you can just do that already. So why are you going on the road? I'm like, you know, because I'm an idiot.
The point of I don't know, the point of the podcast, I think, is like it gives you the freedom to do stand-up how you want to do it.
Yeah, but I want to do it how I want to do it in New York.
Yeah, and if you can do it that way. I guess to me, like the freedom of making money and like providing yourself on the pod means that like you don't have to go do stand-up when you don't want to. And doing stand-up as like a job, meaning like you have to go to this place you don't want to do, seems to me like, I don't know, we did it, you know, for 10 years of our lives growing up.
Right.
But I don't want to perform for people when I don't want to. I want to be excited. Like I can't wait to get back in that market, and I got new stuff for them, and I'm excited
Donny
to share
and I we were actually talking about this on the way over here, where like, you know, we walked like what, 20, 30 city blocks.
We got our steps in.
And it's like, you know, the love that you feel from the people in New York walking around, oh, hyenas, you guys are back, what's up? And then even the financial aspect of it, like, well, but I mean, the creative aspect of it, number one, like how free we are, say whatever we want, do whatever we want, make the jokes we want. And then the financial aspect of it, we're like, oh, you have to consciously tell yourself, like, you have it already. Like, there's not more out there to get. It's like, you convince yourself, I need this. If once I get this will happen. It's like, no, you have it. We have it already.
Do you feel sometimes that, like, you don't have it? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think sometimes I feel that it's because of my kids. I feel, oh, I got to go out there
a lot of pressure
and do so much more for them. I got to leave them with something. But then I realized I was left with nothing. My mom and dad don't have any money, and I'm fine. The tools that I'll give them to be able to self-start anything in their life and go after things is what they need. They already have in their accounts more money than because I inherited $0. So the money that they already have a better start than me. So it's like, what's the treadmill here for? I've been doing it for 15 years. So it's like, just at some point be like, okay.
Would you ever take some time off and just like kind of?
I like I said, I love the art of comedy. I want to take time off the road.
Yeah, that's 100%. What I mean.
Just at the end of December, I'm all.
Really?
I have these shows booked through December. There's no plan to add anything in 2026.
This is the first time I didn't get to start headlining. I'm way behind y'all. Like 2021, I think I finally was out on the road. So I didn't take a break. Even after my special, I took like a month off and then I was back.
You had to wait for Aziz to get canceled.
I had to wait for Aziz to get his dick sucked to Seinfeld.
There was an Indian spot open for Hassan to send Anthrax. And then
I had to wait for all these guys.
Nice Indian spot open. For Kumail to start juicing.
Akash massaged that whole thing.
He was on the side like that. Wait,
I actually sent the fake Anthrax.
Go. You're saying.
But this is the first. This summer, I'm doing like one show next week, then nothing in July, then maybe one show in August, 2 shows in August, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. But for 4 years straight, I was like, man, I got to catch up to everybody else in terms of just not money, but just reps.
Yeah,
because you feel like you grow so much on the road, especially early.
Well, you're in a race with yourself. That's what I think you figured out. It's like you're not ever in a race with anybody else.
I used to look at guys who were headlining and be like, oh, like when I was just doing club spots and be like, dude, I don't know if I could ever get that funny. And then when I started headlining, I was like, oh, it's not that I can't get that funny. I didn't have the reps. And then when I started to feel that growth, I was like,
it's not even the
stay
reps.
on it.
You're a different bag of chemicals in that person. You have different circumstances, different things.
Absolutely. But the idea that level of funny was unattainable was like, I was like, oh, that's not it. I just needed the reps. And then when I started getting them, I was like, I want no.
10,000 hours.
Now you're cooking. Like that's another thing. I think like once you catch, like once that heat happens, you're just selling out everywhere right now. So it's very hard to stop doing that when you've been working so many years.
Yeah.
Like
this is what I worked for.
I remember when you first caught heat. And it was like, I remember you were doing those shows at Times Square Art Center. And it was just, this is way throwback. So any people in New York that really remember
2011
this era.
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest inspirations for me, to be honest. I was like, oh shit, you can do something on the internet. People will appreciate it. and they'll pour into the shows and everything that you're doing, because before that, the only salvation was TV.
Yeah, you
pretty
knew.
much, right? But I remember telling you, I was like, dude, this is amazing. I remember I would call you when I heard someone on the street doing it, and I'd be like, Yannis, this is fucking insane. Like, I just saw this thing happening. I was like, oh, it is possible to do this a different way. You know,
And now it's the only way.
it's the only way.
It's the only way, yeah.
And it's like, so anyway, when you catch that heat, I do think it's important to like put your foot on the gas. Like I do, like run after it. But after you get, you know, a nice little runway where you've been succeeding, I also think it's important to like pull back and relax. That's just me personally. Like I know there's guys that are on the road relentlessly. I don't like doing that because I feel like the jokes, they become like versions of the same shit that I've been telling.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if I take a step back and I wait for a few months and I don't even touch the stage and I start getting really excited to go back on, all of a sudden it's a different perspective.
Yeah.
And then the audience, when they see the jokes, they're like, oh, I didn't see this side of you. It's like, I didn't know that there was that side of me. I had to like be a human being for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
You guys start to treat it like a band on tour, take a little time off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
then
then
people get
put a new
excited.
album
for
out
the
that's
new-
different than something you've ever
And
done.
they get excited for it. They don't see you all the
The
time.
Beastie Boys used to do that. They would put out a smash album and then tour, and then they go away for 3 years because they're in their minds
Fire.
3 years right at the cusp of about 3 years. They were like, people are starting to be like, what about the Beastie Boys?
And then
boom,
boom.
they're back.
And then, I think even, I don't know how long the Beatles or whatever would take time off, but like, at least the albums feel a little different.
Yeah.
You know, say whatever you want about the Beatles, but like at least the music
they're
feels
amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like the music feels a little different, and then your fans, when they come out, they're having this new experience that they haven't had before, and hopefully it's good and they like it. But now every time they come back, they're like, oh, this shit is going to be different. This shit is going to be new.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you
You got to remember it's an art. That's the thing. It's so, because it's a business, you got to remember that it's an art because.
And you got a lot of people pushing you in different ways. You got, you know, shout out to agents and everybody like that. Like I understand that that's how they make money and all that kind of stuff. But it's hard to not even that. But it is hard when they come with offers for certain things, and you have a family and you got a fucking mortgage. You're like, oh, we got to do that. So it's hard to push that off. But I do think for the art,
You have to remember it's an art, or else you keep chasing the money, then you're gonna end up hurting yourself.
The money always comes second.
Yeah,
That's the way to look at it.
You're gonna end up hurting yourself. Happy Juneteenth, by the way.
yeah, that's why that's why you guys
you
are here.
decided he was gonna be on it, not him.
That's why we were
let's
late.
just get some let's get fucking 4 white guys and an Indian for fucking Juneteenth. This is the respect. This is the fucking lack of
Juneteenth is
respect.
3 days from
Pride
now.
month, they get a whole
It's
fucking
not
month.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth is Thursday.
It's in a couple days. Of course you don't know.
Yeah,
One of
your
your
white
best
ass
friends
would
is
be
black.
early on Juneteenth.
I'm early. Yeah, we should have been late to celebrate Juneteenth.
And that's not a black joke. That's a Juneteenth joke
late.
specifically because that holiday's late.
It took so long
for it to be
That's
right.
what it
Yeah,
is. So
that's right.
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Disguised fuckface.
Yeah. You know, it's like Juneteenth, they plop it right in the
I like you,
midst of
dude.
fucking Pride
You're a
month.
good person.
A whole month.
He doesn't believe it.
You
He
do.
just felt
No, I
bad.
do. I really do like you. You look like a woman in Portland.
You do look like a kid who will sniff a woman's seat after she leaves the room.
Yeah. You look like a
have
guy
that
that
look.
has no kings tattooed around your belly button.
Wait, I actually don't even know what the No Kings protest is.
Saying that Donny T
Don't
is
act
a
like a
king,
king.
wants to be a king, and we
they're
got rid of King
protesting
776, and they're protesting against
And
him.
Walmart paid for it.
Yeah, so
That's
what
what it
would
is.
be the argument about the organization of these protests? Because it seems like awfully organized.
Well, it was just the money came from, or a big chunk of the money came from one of the heirs of the Walmart.
Was it Kathy Hilton?
Yeah, but that bitch's been hating Trump,
Walton.
right?
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
got money, so why?
But the argument would then be like the person who benefits the most from not having tariffs
Right.
and illegal labor is the person that is supporting this No Kings protest.
But then
So
other
she-
people are saying that she's separate from the family and that the company itself has disavowed her
Also
political
fair.
affiliation, yada, yada,
Yeah.
yada.
But as long as everybody's being, law abiding, I love it. I think it's cool. Go protest. The thing that's so dumb is when you see like when everybody has like a Mexican flag or they have a Hamas flag or some shit, it's like you guys are subverting your own protests. You're just giving ammunition to your opposition. Like, why would you do it? This is what the FBI used to do. The FBI used to put in fake people. What is it? COINTELPRO is then what it was called. They used to put in fake people so that to cause violence and fuck shit up, so that they could subvert the protest. And now people do it on their own.
Right.
Like you're doing the
Good
FBI's
point.
work for them.
Right.
Right? Like,
Good point. Yeah.
so you would think somebody was saying it to us. I forgot who it was. Maybe it was Cenk. You know Cenk?
Young
Turks.
The Young Turks.
So
It's
he
a
was
great
saying
name.
something like back in the day, like during the Martin Luther King protests, like if there was somebody that was acting out or doing something violent, they would like circle that person and then hand him over to the police because they're like, you are going to subvert this very important messaging.
Right.
And right now it feels like it's not exactly happening. It's going to be very easy to shut down.
And when you say subvert, you mean make moderate people be like, oh, they're bad.
Exactly. Like, oh, this is what it stands for. When in reality, I'm sure the majority of people that are out doing these protests are not being violent. They're not doing anything
Well, the
stupid.
difference with this in 1964 is that they had a message. They had a whole thing. Like we want to change the segregation on the bus lines in Birmingham. Whereas like with this, I don't know what the goal is.
Right. They're throwing a temper tantrum against Trump.
Yeah.
They don't have like an objective.
Well, some people say the objective is like have a little more empathy for the people who are here illegally. They have families.
Yeah, it's just harder to make it like a systematic thing when there's no actual law. Like segregation was a law I can go against.
Right.
That's not quite here. It's a little blurrier.
So it comes across, I'm sure anybody who's against it as, oh, they're fighting for more illegal immigration.
Yeah.
Which probably not. They're probably like, yo, these people have been working here for like 10, 20 years. They got a family and you're sending the dad back to Mexico. Like, that's a little fucked up.
But then it is. But then people.
And Donny flipped on it.
Donny flipped on it, but people will say then, and when I mean people, I mean my group chat will say that Obama got rid of more illegal immigrants than Trump. They just didn't publicize it. The media wants this. So the media.
But whose fault is that?
But he's saying the media is cherry picking again and making this a bigger.
Or you could say that the administration ran on it, so they gave them the opportunity to publicize it.
Maybe.
Like, naturally, of course, anything Trump does, there are going to be people who are like, this is the worst thing ever, and let's organize against it, of course. But if you run on it specifically and you go, we're going to do this, and Tom Homan is on every single news outlet, like, we're coming for you, it's very easy to push back against it when, like, Obama and Biden did it behind closed doors and didn't really look anyway and sent way more back and probably tore apart way more families and did way more fucked up shit, actually. But they don't shine a light on it, so, and they have maybe protection in the media, so it's harder to organize against.
But also, Obama wasn't making promo videos of guys with chains sending them to El Salvador. So he's kind of promoting.
That's what I'm saying. Also,
That's
it's
what I'm saying.
you kind
Liberals
of
should be grateful that Trump is so brazen.
wait, say it again.
That's what I'm like. They should be grateful that Trump is so out there because then it like brings attention to it. You know what I mean? Like if everyone else is doing it so covertly, then they're actually deporting more
Trump
people.
is good for the liberals.
Exactly.
Yes, he's making it easier.
He's making America great again.
Also, that.
He's bringing the liberals in. He's helping everyone. He's in office and then he's helping Democrats.
But it is interesting. Like I think this is something maybe Democrats do know, maybe they don't know. But like he really responds to public sentiment like almost immediately. Like if he feels his base doesn't like some shit, he backs off of it immediately. So maybe the way to get him to do the things you want is just to convince his base that they're not interested in it. Instead of just going, bad guy, Hitler, he's fucked bad. Like that doesn't work. He don't care. Like he's not the type of person if you tell him to do something will work. But if his base turns, he's switching it.
Right.
Remember he was like, yeah, we're going to turn Gaza into Mar-a-Lago or whatever. And his base was like, the fuck we are. He's like, I was joking about that shit. I don't even want a Mar-a-Lago out there. He'll turn.
Yeah.
So like, why isn't that the strategy?
Well, how would you implement that strategy?
I think he did it with the No Kings protests. Like they said, hey, we don't want this. And immediately he's like, you know what? We're actually not going to send people back who are farming. We need our farmers. And we're not going to send our hotel workers. We need these people. They're servicing the community. So there is a version of it where it works.
Right.
So just make sure that his base understands it. That's why I'm curious about the Israel-Iran stuff is because his base does not want intervention.
I think he also realized that you actually do need those people and you can't send them back because
Americans don't want to do those jobs.
The farmers just don't function without illegal labor. Some things just don't function without illegal labor. I mean, there was what was it, Alabama where they did it, and then they enacted state law. You heard about that?
No, tell me.
Yeah, this is like a case study for it. So a state law where they got rid of all of the illegal migrants and like the economy just plummeted. And so they reversed it because the farmers were like, yo, we can't, nobody wants to do this. Nobody can do it.
And then he'll respond to the economy, right? So if the economy in Alabama is shit and you have all these senators and congressmen going, yo, we can't sustain this. We need to do something. He'll move on that. So I think the way is to just show the public sentiment. The reason I kept asking you about AI is because like the next election is probably JD versus who knows, AOC or Buttigieg or something like that. But like
he likes it in the Buttigieg.
This is the AI presidency, right? Like
right.
And like JD's from this part of Ohio, like Appalachia, right? Mm-hmm. Which is like was ravaged by outsourcing and technological advancement. Like it destroyed. I think there's this rule called like the Appalachia student grant, where if you have a 3.0 GPA, you get into any school in Ohio for free. So they treat them like Native Americans. The white
Louisiana
people
has a similar thing.
Okay.
Just fucking idiots all over those
he's
places.
this guy, right? And it's like, how is he going to grapple with this idea that AI is going to do to the country, most likely, what happened to the place that he is from?
Right.
And you're funded by tech.
And big tech wants it more than anything, and they've been investing in him for fucking 2 decades. So how is he going to handle? And I do think he has empathy for these things. Like obviously he grew up in that community, and I think that like say whatever the internet will say all these different things, but I think that he has empathy for people, and I think that's why he's a good communicator. But like that is a big thing to fucking grapple with. Are you going to be supportive of this transition when it could ravage the country in the same way that the community you came from has been ravaged? And how are you going to handle that?
Right.
Like that's
murky.
What do you do? Do you say to the tech guys, do you say, hey, fuck you, this is going to kill the country? Do you invest in like transitioning the workforce to?
I think you just gracefully lose an election.
Oh, you go, I don't want that responsibility. I don't want that to be on me.
You run and you try, but I think it's going to swing back left after this.
Really?
I really do, because Trump is not really delivering on a lot
on the
of
promises.
Yeah.
I mean, the wars are still going on. His big, beautiful bill
is raising the debt by trillions of dollars.
Debt. He's spending. He did a military parade that was a fucking joke for 40-something million. He's spending, and we have a spending problem, and that's what he ran on. We're going to cut all this stuff, and it
seems like he backed off of Doge.
Yeah, he's just making his deals. Man, he went to Vietnam. His son opened a golf course while they were having a tariff war with Vietnam. And like, now we got $1 billion guard. The kid's getting rich. He's got his fucking meme coin. He's being Donny.
Yeah.
He's making money.
And already there's just too much chaos and shit going on. It's like,
and this was the same thing that happened the last time he ran for a second term, where it was people go, it's too hot right now. The temperature's too hot. I don't like it. Let's calm down. And then they put Biden in it. And nobody really was supportive of Biden back then, but they wanted to not be this temperature.
Yeah, dude, Donald Trump has not won an election. Okay?
Wait, what do you mean?
The Democrats.
Oh, that's a Bensonhurst.
The Democrats have lost 2 elections.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's fair.
Oh, come on, dude.
I think that's very fair.
I don't think
come on. They ran a candidate
fair.
who is currently being investigated by the FBI.
The Democrats
She was
won.
so unlikable. She kills everybody.
Hillary.
Hillary.
Oh, yeah.
And then you don't even have a
primary the second time.
and you vote. She was the first one ousted in the primary. No, she was unlikable.
I agree with that sentiment. I guess what I would say is like he had to win the primary against the Republicans, and he did that against all odds. So I wouldn't take credit. Nobody wanted him on the Republican side. He took over the party.
Simply
but in terms of
election?
general election, I get what you're saying.
General election. Dude, I mean,
I hear what you're saying.
The Democrats have just been going. This is what our thing is going to do. We're going to support this culture that's saying, on top of all these white people who are struggling, their jobs are gone, it's also bad that you're white. That's going to be our
Not
strategy.
gonna happen.
And then on top of that, we're going to bypass black people and go, the gay people are the most discriminated against group, and we're just going to focus on all these policies to protect them.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that.
Do you think that they're able to transition? Can they look themselves in the mirror and take accountability for the messaging?
Can, and I will vote for her. Just want to look at her tits. I want to look at her. I want to look at her for 4 years.
She does have absolute
She's a fucking
bombs.
smoke show. She's 4-room, a fucking slurper poop.
She's a hottie with a body.
And it's just time for a strong
She got more
Latina.
bombs than Israel.
Yeah,
Get in
100%, dude.
Yeah.
100%. If I was there January 6th, which I was not, I would run right into the office and sniff her seat.
Sniff her seat. And he would get there first, but we'd get there second and third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just what? Yeah. Oh yeah. He would definitely. This guy's face would.
Yeah,
be
there's
there.
4 parties now, dude. There's 4 parties. You got MAGA, you got the old school Republicans, you got the Democrats, and you got the progressives.
Yeah.
And I think we went extreme right, and I think the progressives are going to come in. I think this is, we'll become a little bit more Europe-like. We'll get universal health care. We'll get some of the things. The military budget will be cut. Things will happen.
Progressives can win if they don't make it about identity politics.
If they stay away from identity politics.
Bernie was on the pod here, and there's a moment where he just goes, yeah, there's a lot of people, and they're like, oh, I'm gay, I'm the best, I'm black, I'm amazing. He goes, well, who gives a fuck? Like, what do you stand for?
Yeah.
And I was the first time I saw somebody on the left in politics kind of acknowledge what everybody feels, which is, hey, why are we making that the zenith?
Yeah.
Why is that
If
the
you're
most
going to have a
important?
thing, it should be like rich
Yes.
versus
Yeah.
poor.
Yeah.
That's what would
That's
help.
going to win Bensonhurst.
That'll win. Rich versus poor will win Bensonhurst.
Yeah, and I think
because
Kanye broke that.
We
So
don't
now
like the-
people
yeah.
should see
Right.
that just being black or, it's like he's a Nazi. So it's like, what's the more relevant thing, him being black or him being... Don't get me wrong, it is impressive. He's the Jackie Robinson of Nazis.
He broke the race barrier.
Dude, in some weird way, that was Martin Luther King's dream.
That's the thing.
To be that type of equality...
That's a premise.
That's
seriously,
great.
you have to respect.
That's great.
That shows that we are certainly free.
That's so
when
funny.
a black boy could grow up in Chicago to
Dude.
become the most famous racist on the planet,
Yeah.
we are now equal.
You thought the 1940s Nazis uniforms were nice? Wait until Kanye. Dude, the stuff,
really.
fashionista.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So
Absolutely.
maybe he broke that.
He did break it.
Maybe
in a
break
way.
that mold, being like, what you look like isn't the most important thing. It's
Bro,
what you stand
and you can
for.
see even but you can even see like progressives moving away from that idea. Simply like I would see like write-ups about our pod. Like we're the only pod with any diversity, right? Like, realistically, like, we are, right? And
I just see 3.
well, yeah, we have some black guys sometimes.
Yeah, and he's sitting on the sideline on Juneteenth.
but
I wish I could see this kid's face. I can tell you what he is.
We're honoring him. He's on a
can't.
pedestal. You know.
No, I meant the disguise face. That wasn't. Oh, you thought it was a black joke? I was making a disguise face joke.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got to, yeah.
But anyway, in terms of like how we were positioned for a while, like none of that mattered, and all of a sudden diversity didn't matter. It was just like ideas.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. All right, guys, let's take a break for a second. I need to tell you guys about Black Rifle Coffee. I need to be very serious. I've been quite cartoonish in some of my past ad reads, but right now I'm going to be 100% serious with you about the importance of this brand. Okay. World War III is upon us. We have to make a choice. We have to, draw a line in the sand. Absolutely. What type of coffee are we going to use to colonize the world?
Yes.
Okay. Are we going to use some coffee that we can't even trust, some beans from some place that we don't even know? Or are we going to trust American veterans that are coffee obsessed to get the best caffeine into our soldiers so they can turn the world into rubble? Black Rifle Coffee is making sure that they do that, okay? Real patriots, real guys that believe in freedom. Where they source the beans is their freedom? No, but that doesn't matter, okay? We get better prices that way. What we have to do right now is shout out our veterans, the veteran-backed, the veteran-created, the veteran-supported, the veteran-founded Black Rifle Coffee, okay? Every single Black Rifle Coffee and energy drink, they also have these delicious energy drinks, every one of them comes with a case of bullets.
Is that true?
There's a case of bullets that comes with every single one.
The gift basket of bullets.
It's a gift basket of bullets. You buy this, there are going to be bullets. Who knows when they come to you?
I don't think that's true.
It's not? Well, I think that's something they should look into because there's nothing that is more exciting than just chugging, how many ounces? There's 16
milligrams of
fluid
caffeine.
ounces and 200 milligrams of caffeine. And then, shining up your bullets. You gotta shine up your bullets.
Yeah.
And then probably just leave them there shining.
Yeah, you don't need a whole weapon.
You
just,
don't need
just
it.
having bullets is enough.
Having bullets is enough. If you line up some bullets on your windowsill, do you think someone's breaking into your house?
Absolutely not.
If you have
know what time
bullets,
it is.
nobody's going to fucking
Security
break
system.
in. 100%. So if you believe in America, you believe in, what's that law that makes sure people can't come on your
Castle
house?
Doctrine.
Stand your
If you
ground.
believe in Castle Doctrine.
I knew that a little too fast.
The second one, he made it weird. He made it weird with the second
I'm
one.
from Florida, dog. Come on.
So
now.
Okay,
everybody,
that's making it weirder.
if you want to protect your castle, okay, you can't do it groggy, you can't do it sleepy, and you can't do it tired. You need 200 grams of delicious milligrams.
Yeah.
They might up it. If it's World War III, we might up it. But for right now, it's milligrams. But who knows what's going to happen in the future? Black Rifle Coffee has got your back, okay? And look, this one right here has a what are those animals? It's like a monkey that walks.
Yeti.
It has a Yeti on it.
Or a Sasquatch, maybe.
Exactly. So you chug this, you'll see a Yeti and you can shoot it. That's a Black Rifle Coffee promise. And right now, blackriflecoffee.com/flagrant. If you use the code flagrant, you're going to get 30% off your purchase of your first order. And that is blackriflecoffee.com/flagrant. Use the code flagrant. You can also find Black Rifle Coffee and energy drinks and gear in your grocery store and convenience stores near you. Okay, I am not 100% sure about the bullets. If they do arrive, obviously I will take full credit. And then I would suggest that all you do is shine them. You do not put them in any sort of weapon, unless your castle is being indoctrinated. And then you can use the castle doctrine to do whatever it is that you want to do. God bless America. Let's get back to the show. All right, guys, let's take a break for a second. You already see the lights. You know what time it is. Hard dick season. Hard dick season is upon us, guys. We're coming up on July. It's officially summer. I know in New York it's been a little wet. It's been a little cold, but I think July and August is going to be absolutely outstanding. How is it going to be outstanding for you? Because you're going to be rocked up. You're going to have the bricky in your pants, and you're going to be ready to go. Blue Chew, same active ingredients inside Viagra, Cialis, but this is the chew. This is the one that we rock with, okay? The one that you keep your girl happy with, all right? You're going to get your first month free. All you got to do is pay $5 shipping. That's 1 month of hard dick for free and only $5 worth of shipping. When you go to bluechew.com, use the promo code flagrant. You are welcome. Now let's get back to the show.
People just want to fight. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, our base thing as human beings. I mean, we've talked about this where there was how many different versions of, there was like Homo sapien, Homo, there was a bunch of different homos, types of people. And then we, as the Homo sapiens, we won this thing.
How did we win?
Because we were the most ruthless and we were the ones built, our humanoid was the ones built, designed for war, the savage.
Why was that?
So
Like, what happened to Neanderthals? What happened to the other
We were just more savage than them. Homo sapiens from any part of the world. So I think our baseline state of being is war. And then when you aren't physically fighting in a war, you'll find it another way. I'll find a problem with a podcast that is very diverse. I'll find a problem with that.
Negativity bias.
I'll find a problem with a religion. I'll find a problem at home. Because that's our baseline, that's who we are. That's why you're here.
We have to overcome the negativity bias, which is, you know, in us from evolution. It's just horrible.
And that's religion, right? And that is Jesus coming through going, hey, I love you.
Yeah.
I forgive you for the shit that you're going to do that's fucked up because you have your negativity bias. I'm here to fill you up with love so you don't do that stuff. And when you do fuck up, I forgive you again.
Right.
And wow, you could see how like profound that is.
Well,
I wonder if it took down the temperature throughout the world when it took over.
Well, or some people would say religions killed more people than anybody.
Because then you're fighting about different religions.
People would say there's the argument that
Yeah, because those other religions fucked it up for us.
Exactly. They'll say nobody's killed more people than the idea of Jesus.
We don't got time for that, though. It's an emergency, dude. We're close to the fucking World War II.
We're not. Talk to ChatGPT.
To put everyone on a low dose.
On a low dose of Lexapro.
Fucking get the Lexapro, put it in the water supply, and fucking calm everyone down.
Are you on the
I'm
Lex?
on a low dose.
Yeah, why do you think we restarted the podcast?
Wait a minute, tell me.
Donny's on medicine.
I have
5 milligrams of Lexapro. I mean, most people say it doesn't do anything, but the placebo effect
I
is
can
real.
tell you it does a lot. Wait a minute.
Hold on. Okay, so this is something that I've seen like a lot of my friends that I grew up with that are kind of like 40s parents, like a staggering percentage of them are on a low dose of Lexapro.
Yeah.
And nobody's having a conversation about this, but they're all kind of happy.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that are not living the life that they thought they would live.
Yeah.
They are much more accepting of this life. Is that what it does?
Well, I had a complicated situation, dude. When I had kids, something happened. Like I started realizing so much about who I was and my life and where I come from and my parents' trauma.
That was big.
And I've had trauma, I've had violent things happen to me. And so, you have kids and then you love them so much. And
you don't want them to go through that.
And but you also start comparing it to your childhood. And you're like, and so a lot of traumatic, I started having anxiety and panic and went on a journey and, did EMDR therapy, which is...
What's that?
Right. EMDR therapy, it's sort of the, it's the gold standard for trauma therapy. I did trauma therapy. And what they do is, it was created by this chick Shapiro in the 80s. And it's bilateral stimulation. So the whole goal of it is to simulate REM. Because when your mind is in REM, you access your subconscious, and you reprocess the memories, from a safe place as an adult to sort of reprocess those emotions. I mean, we're going through another, like we had the pharmacological revolution in mental health.
Yeah.
And now we're sort of, we know now that pills are not the long-term cure that they were. So now we're going into this trauma in the body. And it seems to be all the science, because we've been able to mix neuroscience with all these schools of psychiatry that have been around and pills and everything, and figure out a lot and learn a lot, because they can see parts of the brain. They can see that trauma is not stored the way it's supposed to be stored in your brain.
Some of it they think is in your gut. Some of it is inherited through your mom. Your mom went through something horrible. You inherited that. Remnants of it.
I'm on a low dose of Lexapro too.
No way.
Yeah, I talked to. So I have a doctor, Omar Durrani.
Fucking low dose, baby. Low dose brothers.
So I would just talk to him about like, well, I can't sleep, whatever. And then he would, for like a year, he'd be like, hey, you might have some level of anxiety. I would kind of brush it off. And then I talked to another, like a psychiatrist who specializes in sleep. And I just told him about life, whatever.
How long ago?
This was a few months ago. And he was like, I think
this guy's been selling out shows ever since.
yeah. He said,
it works, dude.
Fucking
he said people who grew up in that kind of situation often have anxiety. Sounds like you have anxiety. And then I've been seeing a therapist for like 10 years. And I was like, yeah, I guess maybe I have like some low like level of anxiety. I can just function with it. And she literally goes, yeah. Like it was the most obvious thing in the world to her for years. And my wife had been saying it too, because my wife has like general anxiety disorder or whatever, OCD. She has these things diagnosed. And she would look at me and be like, I think you have anxiety. You just can function really well with it. So you don't
have you
ever think
noticed
about
changes
it.
in the last couple
I do think so. And I noticed when I used to get mad, especially like within the relationship, the temper would be like, I'm screaming, I'm going nuts, I'm whatever. And now that has pretty much died out. So I do notice that. That's one thing I have. I thought back, I was like, oh, since I started and my body's adjusted to it.
We're also too, I think, like
I'm sleeping a little better.
Through evolution, like anxiety might not be a thing, I don't know, 50,000 years from now, because we have it because when we were just another animal on the plane. We were just another animal at some point that would just get eaten by a lion. Right. So we needed a level of anxiety for survival. We don't need it anymore.
We don't have a social utility for this anxiety that's baked in us. So it's like searching for things to justify itself.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting.
It's why in war-torn countries, they don't have the problems we have because they just have one major problem, and that's staying alive and being killed and gassed by whatever, enemy wants to gas them. They don't have generalized anxiety disorder.
Their anxiety's useful.
They're not worried about, they're not even fighting with their spouses half the time because they're like, we have to survive, so we have our anxiety is actually being used for the human baseline.
You're basically saying that their life is not that dissimilar to the anxiety that a human 20,000 years ago would go through.
So their anxiety is being used for what it was designed to be used for. So therefore it doesn't trickle into bullshit.
But what we know about the nervous system now, and we know it, is that your nervous system is the most archaic part of your brain. And the communication between the neocortex and the nervous system is not great. So your nervous system will respond before your reasoning gets a chance. And so anything that reminds that person of that trauma, it reacts. And your brain, it actually shuts your reasoning down, and for good reason, because
you don't want to reason when a lion is about to eat you.
You don't want to start philosophizing when you're about to get eaten. So that's what trauma is. And so I was brought up by two traumatized people. I didn't really know it was normal for me.
War-torn people.
Yeah, I mean, my mother lived under German occupation for 4 years. Something bad happened to her. She told me every day a Nazi soldier would come to her house. The way I look at it now, the way the therapist explained to me, is that's the way she remembered it, by disassociating. That was a big part of occupation. And my dad is a war veteran. So my dad actually had PTSD. He actually, when he came back from Korea, he spent like a month in a hospital. He had the rash. They called it shell shock back then.
Yeah.
I was on the corner with my dad once, and a tire exploded. My dad fucking crawled under a car. And
he didn't have to yell the N-word, though.
Yeah. That part was unnecessary.
Yeah, that wasn't necessary.
But the look in his face, I remember as a kid, looking at someone who's there, but they're not there, was the crazy. And now as an adult, I realized what it is. And then my panic attacks didn't start. I didn't have any until I got shot, and I didn't know what it was.
So after you got shot, you got shot in your 20s, right?
I got shot in my 20s.
And this was when you were like doing the nightclub thing.
That's right. I first started doing comedy,
And then, so you get shot, panic attacks happen. Do you associate them to that, or are you just
No, I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
The internet was just starting, right?
Yeah,
This early
yeah.
2000 I had no idea.
You can't even look up this information.
Yeah, I didn't even know what was going on. It was just like, what? I'd get on the train and I'd start bugging out and sweating, and I'd be like, what is going on? And then, of course, you go, something's wrong with my health.
Yeah.
So then you start worrying about something's wrong with your health.
Yeah.
And then I went to a therapist and I worked through it, and it went away, but it didn't totally go away.
This is the EMDR?
No. This was back then.
Tell me about the EMDR. I'm really
EMDR, so it's fascinating, and all the science, they use it now in all the VAs.
Right.
It's the most effective form of treatment for people with PTSD.
Can you tell me like what exactly they do?
So what they do is they bilateral stimulation. So they get your eyes to move back and forth. You can do that with a ball. You can do that with
The ball
fingers.
doesn't have to go very far with you.
With me, they just do
just-
it.
yeah, just like that.
EMDR with me is just like this.
it's just
They actually don't even have to move it.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah. And then they take you back through the memory.
palindrome.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Keep going.
And then they take you back through the memory, and you sort of feel yourself experiencing the memory very vividly because you're tricky. You're
like a
hacking your brain.
hypnosis kind of state.
It's not hypnosis. Because you're fully aware and fully conscious, so it's just hacking your brain by tricking it into thinking you're in a REM sleep, like bilateral stimulation. So it's all about bilateral stimulation. You could do it, tapping. You can do it with fingers.
Like you're doing something to activate your active mind, and so
Right.
your subconscious mind kind of comes out. Like
Exactly.
when you're
It's like-
driving, you come up with good ideas.
I was going to say maybe sometimes in a long run.
Yes, because it's
like
actually
when
bilateral.
Okay.
Right, so that's actually true.
I felt versions of this on a long
Yeah.
run. Yeah, you can get into this almost meditative state, and
Yes.
you can access these feelings in a way that you can't when I'm just sitting down trying to, where my
Yeah.
brain is tearing me in different ways. Okay, so you access these things, and then when you're accessing them, the therapist is like helping you deal with them, or is it simply just acknowledging that
Things start to come up. You start to remember things, right? You start to remember it, and then the whole goal is to reprocess the memory as an adult. The ultimate goal is to look back and sort of help yourself. Be the parent if you were neglected.
Yeah.
Give the hug. And so then you kind of remember it that way in a sort of way. It's very interesting how the brain works, but you process it and you process those stuck emotions. The emotions are stuck.
So it is kind of cool that we do have the ability to move past these traumas, but we have to access them in a way where we are, I don't want to say vulnerable enough, but vulnerable enough to actually acknowledge what has happened.
What I've learned from doing this, man, is that most people don't know why they are,
Dude.
who they are. It's all child. Freud was right about one thing. It's all from the childhood.
Yeah.
When your brain is developing. We know that too. The first 5 years are the most important.
Yep.
The brain develops till it's 25. So for an example, I just like some guy, feels like he wants to get out of his marriage or something, and he's like, something's wrong with my wife, really, and he feels trapped just when he's home. He has no idea that the reason he feels trapped is because when he was home, he was trapped with two parents who were fighting, throwing shit. He has no clue that he feels that thing
interesting,
because of his childhood, so he just projects it onto his.
So that person who's completely innocent. Yeah.
Innocent, and
you can go to ChrisDcomedy.com and see that guy do stand-up.
While I was giving the example, I was going like, am I fucking about Chris right now?
I love you, babe. I'm just kidding. You said I could do those things now. I was just joking around because you know that I love you.
I truly think the future of humanity depends on us decoding us on an individual level. Like somehow because we're the complex species. We're the one that's creating all this problem. We're the ones who need to get control of our brain and figure out who we are, why we are. And it's usually because of childhood trauma, things that happen in your childhood that make you the way that you are. And we project it out into the world unconsciously because we haven't explored.
And the pharmacological approach was a brilliant it's a brilliant innovation, but it is a Band-Aid.
Band-Aid.
But sometimes in order for society to function for a lot of us, we needed a little bit of a Band-Aid. But now we're accessing it, or at least understanding it on a different wavelength. Wow, that's awesome. And have the VAs seen massive improvements from
100%.
Really?
This is real science. It's crazy. It's just, you know, you hear about it and you go like, it's a real science. You can go research it yourself. It's like I said,
And you felt like transformation in your life?
I felt transformation, but it's not just the EMDR alone. Like you have to prep for the EMDR, and then when you do the EMDR, your pathways get opened up, so they know they can correspond with the neuroimaging what's happening.
Holy
we
shit.
have neuroplasticity.
Yeah.
When you're young, your neuroplasticity is very elastic and you can change very quick. That's why you can learn a language real quick.
And when you're old,
it's tougher.
Yeah.
But it's still possible.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's more resistance. It's harder to change, but you're actually through EMDR building new pathways. And so that's
that's cool to know that you can still change, like that you're not locked into this childhood that was not your fault at all.
Yeah. You just have to be willing to
Can I
explore.
ask
Let me
you-
tell you something. It's fucking
Painful or what?
It is painful.
When-
It is painful.
How long a period is
Can
this?
you talk
Sorry
about?
to interrupt.
No, yeah. Can you talk about what you revisited? Like, if you're willing to, like,
Yeah.
this is what happened. This is what the therapist or whatever asked me and made me revisit.
Yeah, I was brought up with a brain injured brother, so that's where it started, right? My parents just left me.
Not the gay one.
Not the gay one. That's the difference. Yeah. I was brought up with a brain injured brother, and, you know, my mom was a human rights lawyer, so she was out fucking trying to take care of the children, which was another thing that I know. Oh, I know why you're doing that now. Now I know why you're doing that. Now I know why you're doing that.
Yeah.
Now I know why you're international rights of kids, and that's what's her thing. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's sad. It even when I'm saying it, it's real fucked up. But you know, I was left with a brain injured brother. You know, my father was working all the time, and so I was left with him, and it was it was as my therapist put it, developmentally inappropriate. So I was left with something I was
a lot of
scared of, but I
responsibility.
was
Yeah.
responsible for him,
Yeah.
and it was just the two of us. So my nervous system just developed in this hyper state, and then I got shot, which fucking reinforced it.
Yeah.
And,
And is that why you think, did the therapist say that's why he thinks you would put on your mother's fishnet stockings? Because
That's
you wanted to be
probably
your
why.
mother? Because that's a real thing.
No, actually, yeah, that
Because
is
you
true.
actually, you thought it was a perverted thing, but you were actually being
Now
a
I'm getting
mom
very
to
vulnerable.
your brain injured mother, and you used to throw on the nets. That's why we call them Yanni nets.
It was a
Kids used to throw on fishnets to walk around.
Yeah, it's a completely normal thing. I made it into I made Joe. It was one of
Listen,
my
you do
first
shit.
jokes.
We all do shit. I used to
No.
throw on my mother's high heels.
Yeah. So, you know, we all have things.
This is the
being-
best way to have this combo.
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, it's called being from New York.
So I would get so panicked when I was a kid and I didn't remember. I would go try to smell my mother's clothes, which is what all mammals do. And now I look back.
It's a
I'm like,
comfort, right?
It's a
It's a- yeah,
comfort.
yeah, yeah.
Because I was just at home alone and with my brother, and so I would smell her clothes, and then I would smell her stockings. Next thing you know, I was
You're wearing
throwing
the
them
stockings.
on. Next thing you know, Marisa was created.
But no, you've seen there's some experiment where they have I think it's a monkey, and they have a monkey that's a caricature of a monkey. It's actually not real. And they put it in some like furry outfit, and then they have one that's like just made out of metal. And the monkey will always gravitate towards the more comfortable, softer version because you are seeking the comfort of your mom.
The metal
especially-
one has food.
Oh yeah. It wouldn't even go to the food one that's metal because
crazy.
it doesn't want food.
Yeah.
It wants the nurturing and comfort from the mom. Oh my God.
We can't. They did this. I think it's Romania. They did this where the babies were unattended. If you look up the study or some, it's a very important study where the babies weren't comforted or didn't get. They were orphans or something, and then a lot of them just died because they didn't get care. Like we actually humans need care. We're vulnerable. Like for the first 5 years, like it's
That's
not
why
like
even
children-
beyond that,
Yeah.
community is so
Yeah.
important. Like I have someone that deals with a lot of like psychological issues, and like when he is at his best, it's when he's socializing. So like friend group, take him away from his friend group for a few weeks, and he'll really struggle. And I mean like severely struggle. Have him with his friends just hanging out, and all of a sudden these like psychosomatic behaviors that start to like just kind of like, I don't want to say evaporate,
Subside a bit.
but they subside a bit. Like the temperature just kind of comes down. And I guess that is the big concern you always hear people talking about, where it's like, if we're all online, there is like a cold callousness to being online. Like it is like it's the Band-Aid, right? It's like you think you have community, but you don't have the nurture. You don't have the high five. You don't have the hug. You don't have like your friends celebrating you when you hit a game-winning shot in some fucking beer league, right? And wow, man, wow.
That's
Yeah,
why
well,
I should get all
online
that.
is bad for your mental health.
Pardon?
Yeah.
The online is just bad.
But
That's
especially
another
the
thing.
isolation,
Yeah,
right?
the
Like-
isolation of it, but also just our brains are not evolved our brains can't tell the difference between real and fake. Like our nervous system can't.
When you're having an
So
anxiety attack,
you just-
even though you know it's not real, your body is reacting
Yeah,
as if
reacting
it's
as
a real
real.
thing.
Yeah.
But that's why those centurions, every place you go to that has a high percentage of 100-year-old people or more, after diet, of course, the second most thing, even more than exercise, is community. The ones who live amongst a community and talk to someone on a regular basis live so much longer than the ones who don't. That's why people die in nursing homes.
100%.
You're taking them, you're isolating them.
We're a social species. That's how we
what
survive.
it is.
That's why we have the negativity bias. When someone says something negative about you, you focus on that and not the 100 compliments, because you want to make sure you're in the tribe. You're still like, it's just all built into us.
Yeah, they said we had Peter Attia. Do you guys know Peter?
Sure, Dr. Peter Attia. I love him.
And but he said an interesting
Shout out
thing.
Zone 2 heart rate.
Facts. But he said an interesting thing where he said that community is like one of the most important things, 100%. But he also said, he goes, we shouldn't be looking at centenarians, they're called?
Centenarians.
We shouldn't be looking at centenarians for health advice, because they are the LeBron James of people. So you go to all these centenarians, they're like, yeah, I smoke a cigarette every single day. I go tonight with some whiskey. He's like, yeah, they're living long in spite of that.
They're the outliers.
Not because of that. So we have to be very careful to copy their behaviors. But in terms of community, massive. And I think that's why they say, like, guys who are in a golf league or a tennis league, like all these pickleball, whatever you want to say, they're living much longer. It's not pickleball. It's the fact that every day you're hanging out with 4 other people, talking shit.
Yeah.
And
Here's a big aspect that I experienced personally, because one of the blue zones is Ikaria, which is the Icarians.
Yeah.
And so they have...
Is that in Greece?
It's Greece. It's a Greek island. It's one of the blue zones. And so they hired me, right? So they have an Icarian convention every year in different cities. So they hired me to do their show. They come to a hotel. They have festivals. I experienced it firsthand, right? So the show was like at 10 p.m. or 9 or whatever. It was done at like 11. Then they took me to this ballroom. It was like midnight. It was empty. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, the party's over here, right? It's done. And they're like, no, we haven't begun. And I was like, what? It's midnight. And they're like, no, this is when we start. So, and then I see 90, I swear to God, old people, 90-year-olds, 80-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, they all pack in, drank like fishes, partied like you can't believe, traditional music, everyone's dancing, going party. And, they have a joke. Like, this is why they live long, is because they party so hard. And in the blue zones, that's one of the things too, is they party hard, but it's intergenerational.
You have the kids and the adults, and everybody's locked in.
Everyone parties together.
It's like a Bert Kreischer cruise.
Except the weight's a little different.
Yeah, it's just a little heavier on that cruise.
It's just a little heavier on that cruise.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know how that boat just fucking stays afloat.
I did a Bert Kreischer cruise and I did the Joker's cruise. Between the two of them, dude, I mean, there was a lot of traffic just to get on the line for food, and it was just because people in scooters were holding up the line. It was actual human traffic in cars.
Yeah, if we ever run out of bombs in this country, I'm going to start just dropping cruise ship passengers out of planes.
I mean, they're fucking heavy people. So the intergenerational factor, I think, is important too.
Yeah, you can't just, what do we do in America? Is like with our old...
Throw them out.
Yeah.
Throw them out.
And why do we feel more comfortable doing that here? And do they do that in like Britain? Like, where did we get this idea? Because we surely didn't invent it.
I think personally, America is founded on looting. We're all here to loot. Our parents and grandparents came here to loot. So
they are the people that left their families.
They left their families. They're here for money.
Every one of us, our ancestors left their families.
100%.
So they might not value, maybe there's something even genetic, they might not value that community aspect as much as those other people. And there is an advantage to that, because when you aren't as concerned with the group, you can innovate in ways that might piss off the group, but might really be successful. So that individual spirit is what drives the economy. It's what drives the identity of the country, but the cost of it is that connectivity.
Yeah, it's the connectivity. Also, I think we value who's got the most money.
Oh, yeah.
Over wisdom. So like everyone's like, Elon Musk is a god. You're like, this motherfucker
you don't even hang out with
his
kids. Yeah, it's corny.
He's
it's super corny.
It's
so corny.
So we don't value that kind of older wisdom. We don't look at older people. We just look at, even when you come to America, and I noticed this when I toured Scandinavia hard, I noticed it right away. When you're in Scandinavia, if you say to somebody, what do you do? They look at you like you're rude. They're like, they don't even, when you meet someone, they don't do that thing where they go like, "What do you do?"
That doesn't factor into how they think of you as a person.
I'm telling you, they don't even bring it up.
I know that
when
for
you-
a fact because we saw hot chicks working at McDonald's. I was
Yeah.
there with Ricky Belez, and we walked in McDonald's. Ricky has a great bit about it, but and there was like a smoking hot chick that was like, and I think his joke is, she's like, "Can I get you something to drink?" He's like, "Can I get you something to drink?" You couldn't believe that there was a dime working at McDonald's, and you would do that obviously if you're a kid and you're trying to make a couple bucks, and you weren't worried about like societal scrutiny and what people might think.
It's cultural. It's a cultural difference. They have something there called the Yanti Loven, which is the law of Yanti, which nobody's bigger than the group. Don't get too big for your bridges. We're all kind of in it together. Now, a lot of people say there's negatives to that, and I'm sure there is, because in America you can be who you want to be.
Yes.
But I notice culturally they don't value that the way we do in America. What's the first thing you say? Like,
what do you do?
What do you do? And you define who that person is based on what they do.
Yeah, and
it's the most important aspect.
It's important that you say that. There is a cost to that. There is like a restrictive cost to a lack of an individual spirit. Like if you come from, my mom's from like a, working class, like comes from nothing. The idea that you could like excel is almost like insulting to your community.
Right.
Like, who do you think you are is the conversation. Well, you think you're better than us? And that is like the restrictive pressure that comes with the community. The benefit is, you know what? Maybe none of us are going to make it out, but we all got each other.
Right.
But the cost is nobody's making it out.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you balance that? That's the tricky thing.
Yeah, it's a very tricky thing. You're right. But that seems to be how the way the simulators set this shit up.
What it is. Simulators have a good
Everything's
time.
opposite. Oh, this tastes good. Well, it's bad for you.
It'll kill you.
Yeah. It's just set up. It's set up in opposition.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we do know that there's a God, I think, at this point.
Yeah, of course.
I think the more we learn about, the universe and how it's coded.
When did you come to that realization? I feel like you weren't
I was very skeptical, but let me tell you something. My dad died. This is when it started. My dad...
Fentanyl?
Fentanyl, died of fentanyl.
Gets
no,
everybody.
my dad died when he was 91.
Fentanyl.
And, the thing he wanted the most... Gets us all. What'd you say?
Fentanyl.
Yeah.
91.
Yeah, you were fentanyl. Yeah. So he died, and the thing he wanted so much was grandkids, right? And I wasn't able. One brother's brain injury, the other one's gay, so I'm the only one.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
And it didn't happen. Right. I didn't make it to the kids to show him the kids, but a year after he died, my daughter was expected and born on his birthday.
Oh, wow.
Right. So that's a 1 in 365 chance of that. A year after he died. I mean, my daughter's, it's crazy. And then
how crazy that is real quick.
Crazy.
Like there's a 2-day window you can even knock up your wife.
Yeah.
Every month.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this.
Like, think about how insane
it's
the
just,
numbers are.
I know. It's crazy to me.
It's not even like if you timed it, it would happen. Like, it's not even go, okay, I'm going to have sex with my wife 9 months before his birthday, so we went. No, her regular or menstrual cycle might not even match up.
Yeah.
That's, wow.
And then it went
You're
even
saying
further.
it's spiritual. You're not saying that your daughter is a man trapped inside a woman's
I'm not
body.
saying
yes.
I thought you were trying to equate that. See, that's why you are Marisa.
No, but then
But
when
if
my
you're
wife,
Hindu, that
we
is
got-
quite the possibility.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's possible.
It could be your dad.
When we went to the hospital too, and this was personal, but it's unmistakable, and it just made me know that, like, oh, dude, I don't know anything. There's forces out there. There's things. There's
humbling.
It's humbling, right? We get there and we turn on the TV, and so what's on TV is a cooking channel, and the person on the cooking channel is making cold slaw.
Okay.
Right, they're making cold slaw, which is the most throwaway food. Nobody, I don't even know why they put it on the plate, right?
Yeah, right.
And so, but my dad loved cold slaw. He grew up working in his dad's diner, of course. My grandfather had a diner.
Yeah.
He would go to the diner and he would order more cold slaw. Sometimes he would just eat cold slaw.
How the fuck did he live to 91?
I don't know.
Outlier,
cold
man.
slaw. He's the only dude I know who loved. I mean, when I mean he loved cold slaw, he loved cold slaw.
And coffee. He would always drink a lot of coffee.
And
I got to
cold
know
slaw.
Yanni's dad at the end. He was a
He
fascinating
said
guy.
you were so good looking, you should play for the
He goes,
Dodgers.
yeah, you're good looking. You should play for the Dodgers. That's what he thought.
My dad was hilarious. My dad would go, he's gay. He's gay as a $3 bill.
Yeah, his dad was
He would
great.
call.
Tell me, keep going.
So it was on the cold slaw, and I just immediately I'm just going like. I just felt chills everywhere,
On your
and
dad's
his
birthday.
presence, and like on his birthday, the cold slaw, and I just don't look. I don't know, and I've learned a lot. I meditate now and all that stuff. I think it's all the same shit.
Yeah,
and we're talking about Iran, Zoroastrianism. I looked into that. It's all the same shit. It's about we are not our minds. you know, and then when you separate and you meditate and you realize you're not your mind, which is something you identify with.
It's a
your whole life.
crazy experience.
It's a feeling, and then you go like,
it's liberating though.
But then you're also going, then what is
what
this?
am I? Yeah.
And then you're like, then you feel a part of this
Greater
everything,
thing.
and like it's in everything. And then, so
it's either
it's all the same shit, but it's spiritual.
But you took
God.
it in, you guys are taking it in the best possible way. Like there are some people when they come to that realization, when they are humbled, they go, well, everything's nothing, and therefore fuck it.
I had a little bit of that.
Well, no, but I think that nihilism kind of takes over some people, and there's like a bitterness and an anger that comes from it. The other version of it, which it seems you are right now, it's kind of a really beautiful thing. Like, hey, we're not our minds. We are interconnected. There might be a bigger force out there, and it's kind of beautiful to assume.
Make absolutely no mistake, Yanni is on the beam. And what on the beam means is he is present inside God's warmth and love at all times. He is on the beam. If an airplane, the way that it can land a plane is it has a beam that is getting from air traffic control, and if it stays on the beam, it's going to land. If it goes off the beam, Air India. So what Yanni is on the beam, folks, he is present within God's warmth and love in a way that I've never seen in our friendship. The kid is on the beam. Big.
And you feel like you're on the beam?
I feel like I'm on the beam, and I do feel very similar to Yanni, even in those stories about the spirituality of having a child, how beautiful that was. Because when my girl was pregnant with our first daughter, when we got our very first appointment on the sonogram, I realized I had sex with the girl at the sonogram in high school. And that was just a neighbor. I'm joking, obviously. And she was a 90-year-old woman. It was Yanni's dad. But I do feel one thing that I've accepted. You know, you go through all this stuff. Life's just getting older. It's making a lot of mistakes. It's failing. It's hardships. It's all that. I feel that, and Yanni and I have spoken about this, where for me now, still have residual anxiety. There's still things to be nervous about. There's still things to be upset about, obviously. But for me, I always think about it this way. And this might sound like nihilism, but it's not. Is no matter what, we have a one-way ticket to die. We are dying. Nobody's getting out of this planet alive. So if you told me suffering and depression and anxiety was going to somehow get me off that train of death, I would do it. But since either way, I'm going that way, I might as well be happy and enjoy everything because there is nothing that will save me. So I accept that, but it's a very positive thing for me.
I think that you've made some decisions in your life that are very admirable. You know, like you take care of a kid that's not yours.
My stepson, sure.
And have embraced him, and it seems like built a relationship with his father. Like, I think there are a lot of guys that are in your situation that might not do that.
No, because...
And I just want to compliment you. I think that's like I think it's a courageous thing. It's the right thing to do, and it's an incredibly mature thing. And a lot of people aren't confronted with a decision like that.
Right.
And a lot of people don't have the maturity when they are to even kind of like embrace that other guy that's in the picture and make sure that kid doesn't feel like he's not part of the family. Yeah. So I think that there's a lot of love in you, my man.
100%.
There's a lot of love in you.
Because for me, I look at him, my stepson, as an extension of my daughters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's who he is. And and number one, before I had children, I fell in love with the woman, and that was her child, the most sacred thing to her. So how could I?
You're not alone.
How could I not? You know, how could I discard him? You know, like he's my child. Fuck with me after you're 18, though.
two grown men.
Yeah, we're just guys.
You're not my
say, hey, guy. Yeah. No, I love my kids like they're my own. You know, all three. That's why I always say I have 3 kids. And people
how do you balance that? Like, you are that person. You're his stepfather. You're friends with his father.
Yes.
But like, you're also someone that I imagine like he looks up to. You're someone that I imagine you have a huge responsibility in his life. Like, can you like reprimand is maybe the wrong word, but like, can you say that he's not doing something right? Like, do you navigate it differently with your daughters?
So what I do is with him, I definitely cut him a lot more slack than his mom does, but it's his mom's role. I'm the disciplinarian.
Yeah.
When I step in, it's almost very old school with it. I step in that because I understand, and I always use the same word with him when I say, listen, your relationship with your father is sacred. That's a sacred thing. That is your father. So anything, you always want to go, if you're feeling conflicted, I'm telling you now, go with what your dad thinks, because that is a sacred relationship. And I say, there's no one that's going to ever love you like your mom and dad. Even though I love you with everything, your mom and dad, it's a sacred thing that I only understand because I have that sacred bonds with your sisters. But that doesn't mean I love you as much as you can imagine. But it's a thing from nature that's just something you'll understand when you have kids. But I get involved in a bigger way when I feel like a man needs to say something to him. Like when I see him, it's not me about the schoolwork or the not listening or whatever, but when I come more when he gets disrespectful to Jasmine or to our daughters, I don't say, don't you talk to her like that. I say, what you've just done, buddy, is you've taken the easy way out. It's much easier to yell back at your mom and your sisters.
Yeah.
It's much harder to say, I'm a man, and what I'm going to do is process what you said and walk away. Or what I'm going to do
and go
is
fucking punch a wall.
Yeah, it's what it is. Yeah, that's
Get
what
on
I
a
do.
low dose and keep
But
it pushing.
I always tell them, don't take the easy way out. You know, it's so easy to yell back at your mom, and it's so easy to tell your sister she's an idiot. That's the easy stuff.
Yeah, 'cause you
the
can't
hard
hit 'em.
stuff is being a man. You know,
How did you navigate the relationship with his dad?
I am almost immediately from the beginning. Where like, because the one of the benefits actually of, you know, Jasmine and I had our oldest daughter, Delilah, very quickly into the relationship. Like we were only dating for a few months and she had conceived a baby. So very quickly, that means her problems or her, not problems, but her parts of her life became parts of my life. And I had to kind of say to myself, again, we're having a child. You would have had kind of ways out of this if she wasn't pregnant, but now you don't. You have a child. So this is your life now. So choose peace as much as you can. Every opportunity you choose peace. So when father, you know, got introduced to me, Tristan's father got introduced to me, I immediately shook his hand and said, you know, I'm about to have a baby with Jasmine. I look at this as the baby inside my girlfriend is your son's brother or sister. So we're connected here, and I'm looking at this as the three of us, as it takes a village. There are three parents. I look at this as like a beautiful thing for our kids. They have three parents. They have like an extra hand. So I don't want this to ever feel like this is your family, this is mine. Let's all do this as one. And I think from that, we always have, and we have a respectful relationship where it's like, you know, you're not going to be, there could be an opportunity to be best friends, but it's like when we see each other, it's cordial, it's cool. We also made an agreement, him and I, each other said there will be no talking bad about
Each
the
other
mother
in
of
front
our,
of the
no,
kids.
not about the mother of our children.
Right,
we will
right.
not do that.
Yeah.
I will, and if you know, we would say something to each other, if like you're speaking, just remind you, it's the mother of our kids here. So like she needs to be sacred and held to a high standard. So I think that for us, that's from my father though. My father would always preach to me, you got to do the harder thing. What's the harder thing? Usually 99% of people are going to take the easy way. You'll go with the easy thing. It's very easy to, you know, pontificate online about, you know, like you were saying, nobody knows Iran and Israel. And that's true because it's easy to just spout off shit that you read in
Whatever
a
you
headline.
feel, yeah.
It's harder to do the research and actually take months and go to Tehran and see what the people are actually living like. Most people are not going to do that. So most people don't know. So my dad would always preach that, like, what is the harder thing? And I remember he told me, and my stepmother told me, because my parents were divorced. My stepmother told me, listen, when I met Jasmine, he said, you're about to be a stepdad. You're going to be a dad in 9 months, but you're going to be a stepdad. You're a stepdad right now. It's the most thankless job in the world. You have to give the same love and energy and the same support as a parent, but you will most likely, for a very long time, not get any appreciation or respect for it. And you have to override nature because you are not bonded to this child by nature. And almost every other animal in the animal kingdom will kill that baby in the wild because it is not theirs.
Yeah.
So you have to override systems that are so deeply embedded in you that it's very difficult. And what you have to do is just say, this is the hard thing, but it's the right thing. And you have to keep doing that over and over and over again. So that's why I do that.
Wow. And it's worked out though.
It's worked. Well, we're getting a divorce, but no, yeah. So far, so good. Now we're coming into some years. My stepson's about to be 15, so there will be, I'm sure, challenges of a teenager, of a teenage boy. But I'm hoping that I'm just going to keep with that, that same principle that I say: do the hard thing. The hard thing's usually the right thing, and you keep a loving relationship with them. I mean, for me, it's like again. And even if I take it from a selfish point of view of I only care about my children, well, then you should care about their big brother. Your children are going to be on those times when you're not around because your kids don't want to be with you. They're going to be around their brother because they're similar in age. And don't you want him respecting them and loving them and being the big brother, because then they'll be better girls.
Yeah.
So either way, whether you look at it selfishly or unselfishly, the answer is love your stepson.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. No, it's just a lot. Yeah.
God, I hope he kills me in a murder-suicide. That would be poetic. Play this at my funeral.
That would be
On the Netflix doc.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
They go back and be like, wow, was he wrong about
Yeah,
that?
you know what?
I guess I was wrong.
He turned 16 and the Animal Kingdom flipped on him.
Jesus.
Yeah, the FBI is actively investigating him right now because he has a list and I'm number one.
Well, but here's the deal. True crime is so popular of a genre.
Yeah, why do you
We're
think?
going to run out of content. We need content creators.
Someone's got to go do it.
I guarantee you Mr. B starts killing people.
Yeah, somebody's got to. We got to keep up with this demand. We're running out. I mean, there's just running out.
Why is there this true crime obsession
Because we can get the thrill of what it is
without
to
experiencing
kill someone
it?
without experiencing, because everybody deep down wants to kill someone, because like I said, we're the most savage type of Homo sapien.
Well, mostly
women-
women. It's mostly women that watch it. And
Women are-
maybe
Yeah,
that's
I don't understand it
Well,
at
maybe
all.
that's just how much they hate other women is they like to watch them get murdered. Seriously. And they just watch and go, you stupid bitch. You dumb bitch. You don't marry a guy who owns a fucking boat. You fucking dumb bitch. You're going to end up dead on that fucking boat. Dumb, stupid bitch.
Do your girls like true crime? Mine does not. I don't watch it.
my girl likes
True
she
Lies
likes-
and Mormon Wives.
She's got good taste. She likes like Frasier. She watches reruns of Frasier.
Oh, no.
She's into like good
Mine loves
shows.
Housewives and shit, but she don't do
My
true crime.
wife likes that too.
And they all love the
Yeah, they love
housewives.
the housewife
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we hope that they're watching it to laugh at them.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what we hope.
I think for them it's like
Yeah, we
they-
hope it's not inspiration.
they go like brain dead when they watch
Yeah.
it. They're just like they just kind of like
But that's good. Sometimes you need that to reset.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
meditating.
our sports, I think.
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
That's
Like,
exactly
and the way
it.
they keep up with like free agency gossip and all that. That's what
they
they.
do with
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
for the
that's why
Housewives.
they're watching Housewives. I'm watching Brian Windhorst.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why the WNBA just has to admit listen, women are never going to be in to women's sports because their favorite sport is trying to destroy each other with fake compliments. That's what they like. So what you have to do is stop trying to get women to like it
Yeah.
and get men to like. So
Well, that is
no
what's
more
happening.
lesbian dressing. Everyone in fucking miniskirts. Let's see some
Yeah.
titties.
But what you're saying is happening. Like,
Yeah,
I think
let's do
Caitlyn,
it.
like, first of all, this season or last season, they all just became hot.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It-
Dude,
there was
Sophie Cunningham,
no.
Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, they're all hot.
One of my favorite videos now is just watching them walk into the arena.
Oh, yeah.
I love watching. You're like,
100%.
oh, she looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watch it with a tub of Vaseline
Yeah.
next to me.
I got to
I
admit,
have
there's
dry
this
nipples.
account. I mean, I don't know the guy. So
Who's that girl
Dude.
that Cedra or whatever? 'Cause, what's her name? Yachty was talking about her. Beautiful.
Cameron Brink?
Oh, no. I don't
Karen
even think
Brink is
she's in the league
gorgeous.
anymore.
Yeah.
They should have kept her in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were saying.
But there's this dude who he's an Instagram guy and he does this Smash Olympic, like Smash playoffs
Yeah.
of all the WNBA teams,
Yeah.
Smash or Pass,
Yeah.
and it's very funny.
Dude.
And he goes through all of the teams and he's like Smash, Pass, respectfully, and it's really fucking funny.
Have you seen the guys that do the? They're betting on Angel Reese missing her first shot,
She shoots like great, yeah.
but like they're up to 10 games. There's just 4 of them,
That's
and they
so
just watch
funny.
the beginning of the game,
Yeah.
and they just wait for her to get the ball, and then they go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But it is true. It's like once Caitlyn came in the league, she started playing in a way that we wanted to play. Like,
Yeah.
like there's no guy that outside of like NBA players that doesn't wish that they had Caitlyn's game. I want to be able to pull up from the fucking logo. She could do it. The second the game transfers to our interest point, we're invested.
Yeah.
We're watching.
Right.
So I think you're right. It's like in order to get women's sports, in order for women's sports to be incredibly popular, you need to get the people who like sports to watch,
Yeah.
which are men.
Which are men.
You're not going to transition all these women into girls that watch sports.
No,
It's
and,
not-
and it's the same principle. Like me and my girl got into a fight the other day because she was like, I was talking about the WNBA and how I was watching it, and I was like, my older daughter, 10, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe she'll like it, whatever, because
Yeah.
I can't really get her into sports. It's like a thing. I'm like trying so hard
Yeah.
to get my older daughter into sports. She just does not want to play, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get her to watch, and then Jazz like, oh, please, you're only just watching because you think the girls are hot. That's why Caitlin Clark's on the Fever. I was like, yes, but she's awesome. But I was like, what? You don't think it's the same for you? She's like, no, I watch sports because it's fun. I'm like, really? Then how? You're telling me you knew Danny Amendola's stats, some random wide receiver from the Patriots? You just wanted to have sex with him.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. So it's the same principle. And then she just went into the other room and started cooking dinner.
I think Caitlin Clark, I think the long
dork.
ball is kind of like the dunk to men. Since women can't dunk like that, the long ball is like the dunk. So now
Yeah.
it's like,
and Steph opened that up.
Yeah.
Like once the
100%.
NBA transitioned into a 3-point shooting league,
Yeah.
WNBA got popular.
yeah.
So Steph really made women's basketball exciting.
I
You want to talk about
like a
beautiful
girl.
person?
Stephanie Curry, bro. That's what it took.
He's gorgeous. Imagine he would be the hottest player in the Phoenix Mercury.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the lesbians. The lesbians are great. There's not a lot of lesbians in the world. So
Yeah.
just from a marketing standpoint,
harder.
it's just harder to market that. So
Yeah.
no more cornrows and baggy clothes, girls. If you're a lesbian, just pretend to be straight for fucking the marketing of it. Just walk in hot, and then you can go eat pussy and do whatever you got to do. But just be a girl on the walk-in.
That's what we need. Listen, guys, thank you so much for being here. History Hyenas is back. You guys already know that, but make sure you check it out. Yannis Pappas' Property Owner is out right now on YouTube. You filmed it at the mothership. Hilarious.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, go check that out. Chrissy, you got the special out on Hulu.
I got a special out on Hulu.
Go check it out. They
just
got tour
unfortunate.
dates until December.
Through December, ChristyComedy.com. Your boy's trying to repay his mortgage.
Yeah. My date's YannisPapasComedy.com.
YannisPapasComedy.com. Thank you guys so much for being here. We
Thanks
appreciate
for
you.
It's good.
Love
This
y'all,
was
man.
a nice reunion.
This was
We had a good
awesome.
time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Happy Juneteenth.